Disclaimer. We are two regular guys who love to talk Bone Thugs and Harmony. We do not represent Bone Thugs or any Bone affiliate. We are also not Bone Thugs experts. The views and information you hear in this podcast may be based on personal opinion. Please feel free to leave corrections and clarifying information in the comments. And enjoy. Kick that shit. What's up, y'all? Cecil West, Beyond the Harmony.com. Back again, my friends, with the one and only
Johnny Be Good. Yeah.
And this is Thug Tuesday Live. We do it about once a month, and it is that time. Here we are, guys. We are here. I'm glad to be here. Tonight we have Hart of the Poetic Hustla'z calling in, and I'm just happy to be here with everybody in the chat room. We see you guys. We see everybody piling in right now. So here we are. We're live again. This is I think this has become my favorite segment.
Yeah, and it seems that we may actually not have a delay this time. So that is extra good.
Yeah.
Because I hated that delay.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did it.
The delay between us and the you mean like the chat and everything?
Yep. Because what I was hearing coming through my YouTube channel, like having the live going, there was no echo, there was no repeat. It was live. What I was hearing in my headset was also what I was hearing through my computer. So looks like we got that portion possibly fixed. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And also, what I love too is today is our second return guest. So it's great that we've been doing this long enough that we actually have return guests now. So that's a second return guest. We had one with Soulja Boy, and now we have one with Hart. So two of the best.
I was just checking it out. I was checking it out real quick on my phone. It seems to be a very, very, like, almost no delay at all. Fucked with our latency a little bit. You know, every episode's a learning experience. While I was sick, I learned a lot on the last one. So, we are getting things going. But, yeah, no, I'm glad we got that worked out. We will have Hart calling in a little bit. And yeah, man, it's I see the chat. Like I said, I see the chat piling up. We appreciate you guys. It's really been a exciting season so far. Us debuting this live feature has been huge, and I think it's something that even in the off season, we're gonna make sure that we keep doing this. And who the fuck knows? This may become what the show is. Once I've kind of like hit all the interviews I want to hit, this may just be what this show has to become.
Yeah. Who knew this season 2 would turn out to be better than season 1? Because right now season 2 is just killing it, man. It's all-star guests, all-star production. We stepped our game up. So
yeah.
No, I'm loving the live too. I think this live thing is really kind of taking on a life of its own, and it's more exciting doing it with people able to chime in the comments and just makes our show better. I like it like that.
Yeah. I see questions in the chat already. Just so you guys know, we do our best to answer all the questions in the chat when we can. We'll also be answering or trying to answer any questions that you'll have from Hart in the chat as well. I see some in there already. Roger wants to know, does Bone Thugs know if y'all have this show? I can tell you that I know that Crazy Bones knows that we have the show. I think Lazy does. Some of the Bone members know that we have the show. So yeah, the answer is Bone does know that this show exists. Bizzy Bone was like the very first guest on the show before it even really became this show. Johnny went out to LA and spent days with Bizzy Bone, and he was the first interview on Beyond the Harmony. So yes, Roger, Bone knows that this show exists. And Oliver, don't fret, my man, we will be accepting some calls soon. It says currently not accepting calls now, but don't worry, guys, we will be opening up the line soon. We cannot wait to talk to you guys. So
and I have a question actually for everybody else. I was doing some research and I was looking at IMDb for Bone. I was trying to find a bunch of soundtracks for a future question of the day, but I noticed there was a movie that they are listed as being in, and it's called Rebel Invasion. And it's, I guess, a documentary about the Cleveland music scene. I don't know when it came out. I've never seen it. I can't find it. So has anyone seen or heard of or know about anything about Rebel Invasion? And I think the S is a Z, so it's invasion with a Z. I haven't. Have you heard of it, Cecil?
No,
Rebel Invasion.
I was gonna ask, like, is like fucking Bone in it, or what's the deal with it?
Yeah, it looked like they were like the headliners along with what seemed to be other local Cleveland artists. I'm not calling Bone a local Cleveland artist, but it seemed like it was other Cleveland art. It just seemed like it was the scene, the Cleveland music scene, the Cleveland hip hop scene. I'm not sure. I think it was made like 3 years ago.
Wow.
It's an IMDb listing along with like all their music videos. So everything else checks out in their videography or their filmography, except that. I'm like, Rebel Invasion. How did none of us hear this?
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I would love to check that out. It's always interesting when you see like a documentary like that it features, you know, someone like Bone, but it's not it's not made by Bone. You know what I mean? You get that just that 360 perspective, I guess. I would love to see that. Plus, you know, the Cleveland like hip hop scene in general is kind of intriguing to me. So I kind of, you know, it's funny, we end up researching like more than Bone here, and it's like we talk about like some Cleveland, you know, like hip hoppers, you know, like their household names on this show a lot. You know, the ones from like the Stony Brook Faces of Death era, but and it just happens on the show. But the shit intrigues me, so I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to find like the date on it, and I can't even find where I found it the other day. So who knows there? But speaking of documentaries, I still haven't heard any. Has there been any new news about Sons of St. Clair? Is there any?
I see people asking
digital
about
releases
it all the time.
Yeah.
And
So
like nobody has an answer.
yeah. And then, you know, I remember they had Thug TV, not the VHS tape, but they were coming out with like their own reality show back when Bone for Life came out. And I only saw one episode. Did they ever create any further episodes after that one where Bizzy Bone doesn't appear in it, but he's on the voicemail to Lazy Bone, and there's kind of like some inner beefs going on, and that's the one where Lazy Bone he goes on the streets and walks up to people and he asks who their favorite member of Bone is. And like everybody said Busy or Crazy.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, how come nobody ever picks me?
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that shit. Yeah, and I felt a little I felt like, you know, he was a little justified in that too, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like his reasoning was like, yo, I've held Bone together and shit, and you know, I was like, it is true, man. Everybody goes for Crazy and Busy, but Lazy is that dude, bro. Lazy is that guy.
Yeah. And I was just wondering though, was there ever a follow-up episode? Because I did see that one, and this was still in the early days before social networks when this came out. This was still when it was just Web 1.0, before the 2.0 revolution of social networks, and people weren't that clever at sharing things online yet. So I don't even know where I would have looked. I don't even know how I found out about episode 1. Probably from the original BT&H board, but I would like to see what the second and third episodes were, if there were any, unless that was just a pilot that never went anywhere. But if anybody knows, let us know. I don't remember the name of it. Do you remember what the name was?
Nah.
Well,
Just
there's that.
I am currently I'm speaking with Mohart right now. Mohart is working on the call in right now, getting into you guys. So we should be with Mohart here momentarily. I just want to take a look in our chat real quick, see what we got going on. Roger says, I don't like how Crazy threw New Waves on the back burner. The album was fire and new sounding. I don't know if that was Crazy that did that necessarily. I don't like that necessarily that it went to the back burner either, but I don't know if that was Crazy who did that. I'm going to be honest and say that I think what did that was, us as fans. I think that, we were not as receptive as we should have been as Bone fans, and I think that's kind of, I think that they took that feedback and say, okay, the fans aren't feeling this, we need to move forward.
Yeah, there was a lot of fan backlash from that, and it was unfortunate to the point where I was just like, can't stop with the negative comments, because you guys are going to kill the momentum of what this could turn into. And I mean, it seemed like at one point it was like a 50-50. Half the people loved it, half the people hated it. And when you have that many people speaking negatively, it hurts the brand. And if you have to keep pumping money into something and they're seeing that something's not being universally accepted, they're going to wonder, like, well, why keep pumping money, effort, and energy into something if everybody's being negative on it? Right. Not everybody, half the people. And, and it's not like it's one of those side projects. This was something that we all needed to support all the way, because it was a major release, not a mixtape. And, but I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But when you think of it from a fan perspective, you want these guys to keep going, keep making more and more stuff. That was a over the top negative reaction. I understand it, but at the same time, although I could see why too. It was the Crazy and Bizzy duet album that everybody had been longing for forever, and when it didn't meet what your first impression expectations are, it's a pretty big letdown. I think some people felt the same way with Chasing the Devil. I love Chasing the Devil, so it's not me, but I know a lot of people weren't into the conceptual nature of it, and they were kind of looking for Crazy to just spit fire, like the song Like Fire. But hey, I remember it's when you have a notion in your mind, especially after waiting 7 years for Chasing the Devil and waiting 20 for a Bizzy and Crazy solo, when it doesn't match what your internal mindset is for it, you lash out, understandably so. But let's just remember to support the team when they do major projects with investors and people from the outside looking to see success and happy fans.
I think I often think about what you said, just like as far as what the fans expected. What do you think that people thought it was going to be? You know what I mean? Like, I think they kind of gave us the signs early on, like it wasn't going to be... I just don't know, man. Like, I kind of got the project. I got the project that I thought was going to happen. Like, I wasn't surprised at this point that it was like that. Like, again, like New Waves, they've been setting up for a New Waves type album for a long time. Like, I wasn't surprised. It's a fucking Bone album to me. I mean, does it lean a little more towards that other shit? Like, yeah, but like nothing there surprising.
Well, what's funny is it wasn't New Waves enough for me. Like, I wanted it even more, the way they were doing it. But I'll ask you this, to answer the question, I'll ask you to think back to two other mega duos. So when Dr. Dre and Ice Cube made Natural Born Killers, I don't know if you were into rap yet. Do you remember when that came out? Yeah. Natural Born Killers?
Yeah.
Did that meet your expectations? Were you like a lifelong Dre and Cube fan? And when they finally came together, even though they were in NWA together, but they got back to do Natural Born Killers, and the song is good. It's a great song, but I think people were just expecting. I'm not even sure what they were expecting. And then Method Man and Redman, that was kind of a big deal, but I don't know. I guess what the people expect.
Hate Natural Born Killers? Like, was that like a letdown or some shit?
No. People liked it, but I think they expected something that's just not even possible to deliver. Everybody bumped Natural Born Killers, but you could feel like they're like, why is it just one song? We want more. Neither guy like ripped it too. I think what people wanted with Crazy and Busy was to have at least one song where it was just the two of them, just completely just like basically heated heavy with two guys. That's my guess, something like that, where it's just them completely flexing their skills, almost like a back and forth thing, and it just turned into be just verse chorus kind of things. What do you think? What do you think people were going for?
I think I you know, it's so crazy to me, but I'm like I think that Bone fans maybe thought it was gonna sound like, you know, like the eternal shit. Like you know what I mean? Like I just I don't know. I think it was unrealistic. Like I don't know what they thought it would sound like. I do agree that maybe it would have sounded more like, you know, it isn't some Bone shit. I agree with that. But again, these are grown men at this point. You know, they're not 17-year-old like, you know, young cats. So I don't know. I do believe though that we have Mo Hart. Let's take a look. Mo Hart, you with us, brother?
What's happening?
There he is, Mo Hart. What's up, man? Thanks for coming back on the show. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy, but I think I told you like, you know, with all the guests that we've had on, and yours, if I can remember correctly, yours did like the fastest rising numbers. Your interview did really good. The fans love you.
Okay.
This is a little bit of a different situation. Last time we recorded it, we are live with Mo Hart right now. We have a full chat room full of people in here just waiting for that call-in number. So we're going to get to some fans calling in and speaking to you in a little bit. But I think we'll take a little bit of time just to play some catch-up because it's been a little bit of time since we spoke. And there's a couple things going on that I've heard right now. So I think we'll catch up on that. I just had Soulja Boy on again, his second time on Beyond the Harmony. It was a great interview. And when we had Soulja Boy on, he said that there's a lot of background work being done with a group called the Originals, and he listed off a huge list of people included in that, and I heard that your name may possibly be one of the acts included with this upcoming project.
Yes, it's still in the talks right now. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really made any obligations to that, but it would definitely be, you know, a great thing, you know, to get us all back together, and you know, we collab and come up with some great music.
Yeah. No, I think that would be awesome. I mean, when we were talking about it, it's like not only would it be great to obviously have you guys back together making music. I mean, just, you know, just thinking about that is amazing, but it's like the possibilities too, you know, as a fan, like the possibility for me to be able to see you guys like live again or see some new, you know, videos again. I mean, that would be crazy. So hopefully it works out. I know when we talked to Sin, we recently just talked to Sin, and he, you know, he seemed pretty excited about it to see it happen. So, you know, hopefully that's gonna pull together. Has it just been you in talks, or have any of the other Poetic Hustlers been in talks to be doing this project as well?
I haven't really spoken with Boog or Tone since last summer. You know, I've been basically, you know, getting everything together for Heartfelt Entertainment, which is my label. And we're preparing to drop the first single off our label, and hopefully we can get together with, you know, other Poetic Hustler members, and you know, we can make this a full-fledged, you know, a full-fledged event.
Yeah. You said that you're working on your label now, right now, trying to getting ready to drop the first single. Is that a single with you, or is this like an artist that you're working with?
Yeah, actually, it's myself and an artist that I'm working with, a young artist, young budding artist, by the way, for getting her toes, you know, wet for the first time, you know, recording as well as performing, you know, globally. So like I said, we've been just taking, one step at a time, and now we just finished up filming, the last few scenes for our first video, first single coming up. We'll be dropping in about, I would say, about 3 to 4 weeks from now. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
What's the artist name that you're working with? Who's the artist, if you can tell us?
Her name is Dejanay. She's out of Cleveland, Ohio. She's 17 years old, student out of the Cleveland School of Arts, as well as my daughter.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're working with your daughter. That must be an amazing feeling for you to, that's a lot of progress. You went from a young man, you got yourself out of jail, you went right from jail into the recording studio, became a poetic hustler. You've helped change the game, at least in the Bone world, and now here you are. Fast forward, you're putting your daughter on. That must come with a lot of responsibilities. You know a lot about this music industry. A lot of things have happened to you. Was it her that came to you and said, "Hey, I want to be in this industry"? And what was that like for you? Did you want to protect her from that, or were you excited to kind of bring her into this industry?
Definitely want to protect her, and then let her cultivate her craft. She has a heavenly voice. And I felt that it was something that we could do together as father and daughter, not just an artist to artist collab, but a collaboration between a father and daughter. You know what I'm saying? We're both musically inclined. We both love some of the same genres of music. So, I felt it was fitting for us to come together and put a project together that we both can be, happy with, satisfied with, and putting in that time together.
Yeah, I think that is that's a huge. I mean, I can see why like your focus is kind of there. It's like the Mo Thug reunion. Would be an amazing thing if you can pull it off, but this is really kind of you investing in not only a future for you, but more a future for your seed to
for
really
her,
do something huge.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I wish you guys nothing but luck with that, and I hope when the single drops, you let us know. We'll do everything that we can to help push that out and make sure that everybody hears that. So. I do want to let our fans
certainly
know, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. We want to do everything that we can. And now, before I jump to that piece, let me ask. Now, you're both going to be on that track. Does she rap?
Yes.
Does she sing?
Yes.
What's she do?
No, she sings. She sings.
And you're going to be doing like
yes, and then I'm doing the vocals.
Yeah, that's dope.
I'm spitting the bars. And by the way, the name of the single is Where I've Been.
And is it just going to be that one single that Where I've Been single, or are you guys doing like a whole like project, like a whole album or EP?
Well, we're doing a full project, but I thought it'd be fitting to start with a couple singles. Just drop a couple singles, just to get the buzz going again. To really get behind the buzz, and just to give something to the fans.
I think that's where the industry's kind of at too. It's different now. When you came up, it was kind of all about creating a classic album, the full album. You spent a lot of time making that album, and now we're in a really single-driven place. Like albums don't get the respect and love and the appreciation. I think that because there's so much. A new single drops. I think it's something like every 20 seconds or something. An artist on the internet drops a new single. Probably more than that now. So.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right move. I want to let our fans know that if you want to call in and speak to Mo Hart tonight, I do have the phone lines open for you guys right now for a limited time. So if you're thinking about calling in, please give us a shout. You can call in at 1-605-562-0444. Our show ID is 665-7842. Again, the number is 1-605-562-0444 with a show ID of 665-7842. Call in, speak to Mo Hart. If you've ever wanted to talk to Mo Hart about the Mo Thugs, about Poetic Hustlers, Night Riders, or anything else, this is your time to do it. Until we have people call in, though, we're going to keep it moving. You know, we covered a lot in our last interview. I mean, so much. I think it was a two-piece interview, and it's crazy to think that with everything that we covered, we still didn't cover everything. So I had a few questions left over from that. So while we're waiting for some people to call in, I figured I'd just throw a couple of these at you.
Okay, shoot.
So one thing that I remember seeing is I believe there was a picture I saw of the Poetic Hustlers with Jermaine Dupri, and I remember hearing that Too True had like some sort of connection with JD even before they got on Mo Thugs, and then seeing that picture of Poetic Hustlers with JD. Did you guys just know him in passing, or was there something more that was possibly building there with Jermaine Dupri?
Actually, there was something more brewing with Jermaine Dupri. At one point, he wanted to get with the Poetic Hustlers to do a remix for, I believe it was either Searching for Peace. And for whatever reason, it didn't materialize. So that's what you saw with that picture. That was what that was.
Oh shit! Wow. So he was just gonna do like a like remix the music for it, like a So Def type of remix.
I guess I'm guessing it was going to still be a Mo Thug project, but I think he wanted to integrate the So Def Mo Thug entity together.
Yeah.
As far as that track was concerned.
Yeah. He's kind of like a Jermaine Dupri. It's like he's a real innovative guy. Like I don't know if he's always got the He may not have always got the props that he should, because I think that he's kind of lived in a couple shadows. He gets Puff Daddy comparison a lot, and of course he didn't live up to Puff Daddy level, and but that's a guy that did a lot for our industry that probably didn't get his just dues. But he really loved the Bone and the Mo Thug sound. You saw him working there a lot. It would have been real interesting. For you guys to work together. Was there anybody outside of, like Mo Thug or Bone, that Poetic Hustlers like got a chance to work with that maybe we didn't hear those results? I know Tiny did that intro for you guys.
Right. Well, as far as that goes, we hadn't had a chance to really, rub any more elbows or, speak with any other artists concerning, doing any collabs or, features or anything like that. So, it would have been great though. I welcomed all, creativity at that point in time, and I still do, but definitely that would have been a great thing.
Who are some of the artists that maybe that you would have liked to work with at that at that time back then? Was there anybody on the list that it was like when this thing starts rolling, this is who Poetic Hustlers wants to work with, like outside of Bone?
Yeah, definitely wanted to work with Method Man, Busta Rhymes, what is his name? One old guy by the name of Fred, no, not Fred No Star.
Sticky Fingers.
His name is on the tip. His name is on the tip of my tongue. But he was a little bit older than I was. You know what I'm saying?
Freddie Fox.
From Brand Nubian. He was from Brand Nubian. He was one of the guys from Brand Nubian. But definitely wanted to work with guys like that. It varied for me. I had a lot of inspiration. Scarface, all of Ghetto Boys. Every last member of Ghetto Boys, I would have loved to work with those guys. UGK, just mixing it up a little bit. Just to name a few.
Yeah.
Lord Jamar, was it Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian or?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It was Lord Jamar.
I love watching his show. He's got a good show on the internet.
I just want to say to our fans, I think I'm gonna try to update this on the screen right now. It looks like the wrong show ID is in. If you guys are trying to call in, use the show ID 145870. That's 145870. 1985 Gemini. If you could just post that in the chat as well. I did, and I'm going to try to update that on your screen. So I apologize to the listeners. Hart, we got a bunch of people trying to call in, and they were having some connection issues. So hopefully we'll have that straightened out here in just a minute. So again, guys, if you're calling in, the show ID is 145870.
I got a question too. I don't remember if I asked this last time, but when you got back together with Poetic Hustlers for that reunion last summer, you guys went out to dinner. Then you were in a studio. Did you guys record anything that night?
Oh yeah.
No, we did not. And I would love to. Just that moment with the guys, it brought back a lot of memory, and it sparked a lot of more, just a lot of more fire in me, and just where I wanted to see things go creatively and musically. Definitely want to get the guys back together, and we finish off what we started. But things happen in life, and people, they go down their own road. So, when that happens, we'll have something great for you guys. But right now, we haven't really talked much more about that.
Do you remember Oh, go ahead, John.
I was just gonna wonder. I was also wondering, like, over the past 20 years or whatever it's been, like, had you ever gotten back in the studio on your own to do like a Hart solo or any collabos or a mixtape or anything like that?
No, actually, I've done different solos or collabs with Soulja Boy. You mentioned earlier in the beginning about the Remainders.
Yeah,
that's what you were trying to say. The name of the group was called the Remainders.
Oh, the one that you and Sin and him did. Yeah, he was saying the new group I think is called the Originals, is what I was talking about. But yeah, I remember when you guys
the Originals.
No.
See, that's what I'm not even familiar with that. I haven't even been. That hasn't even been brushed across me or come across my table. I do know that there's work in place for that to happen, but I didn't know the extent of what name was going to be we were going to be riding under or anything like that. Let alone being involved in it. It's just been, like I said, it's just been talk. But hopefully we can connect and we can get this going.
Well, I remember there was that music video, that Poetic Hustlers with Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
And
that was the last
briefly
one I did.
Okay. And was that like a feeler? Was that like a feeler to trying to see, like, test the waters to see, like, because you got there was a lot of views on it. Was it just like a feeler, or was it just you guys got back together and Soulja Boy had like a film crew, or like what?
Yeah,
what was that all about?
Soulja came up with he came through with the track, and came through with the chorus, and said, hey, I got a cut for y'all. I want to feature it on my Tally Up album, mixtape. So so we did the song, and he I guess he put it to his mixtape or whatever, but we still showcase it and put it out.
Right track.
Yeah, I like that track. I was excited when that happened. You know what I mean? That was an exciting time. I think that's like the first reunion. Like the first time I've seen any Mo Thugs do a reunion in a video that I can think of. Like, there was a few reunion tracks, but I think that's the first one that made it all the way to a video. It was good as a fan to see that happen.
Yeah, I liked how you were.
Yeah, I was excited. I was excited to even do the song itself. Having not being around the guys or recording, as consistently as we were. It was a great thing for us all to be together and, coming together, collabing, and actually recording and then shooting a video for it. That was a very exciting thing for me.
I think if I'm looking here, I believe I think we got a few call-in guests, Mo Hart. So if you're ready to talk to a few fans, I think we're gonna bring some fans on here to chop it up with you.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's do this here. Let's bring our first one on. You are on Beyond the Harmony with Cecil West, John Lippy, and Mo Hart. Who do we have calling in? You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have? Nobody. Let's go to the next one. You're on Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have calling in?
Andre the Giant. How you guys doing?
Andre the Giant. What's up, brother? Thanks for calling in again, man. How you been?
Hey, man, I'm a big fan, man. I'm going to support you guys every time. So I just want to say much love to you guys. Keep up the good work. Mo Hart, how you doing, brother?
Love and respect, brother. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm doing awesome, man. Sitting here with my kids taking care of business, man. I just wanted to say thank you for your contribution. I'm going to make this pretty short because I got to get to my family, but I want to say much love to you. And I do have one question for you, brother.
Okay.
One of my buddies, we argue about this all the time. We're pretty huge on every song that comes out, Bone or Bone-related, Mo Thug related. He tells me to this day that there is a version with Searching for Peace that Bizzy Bone is on, and it was a I forget the radio station, but it was exclusive to a certain radio station that played it in the 90s. But he swears there's a version, an official version, of Searching for Peace with Bizzy Bone on it. I just want to know, can you confirm that?
No, sir. That's strong, though. No.
So there isn't a version.
It's always been us three. We've always recorded and performed that song. He never did or had a B-side for anybody else to do that song.
Okay, and that's what I thought. Once again, it's a great song. You guys contributed an awesome amount to the Mo Thugs. I'm just kind of sorry to see what happened to the Mo Thugs because the original crew was just fire. I don't know why. I mean, the lineup was just, y'all were ready. I don't know what happened really, but just much love to you, brother, and I hope everything works out in the future for you. John and Cecil, thank you for taking my call, all right? You guys enjoy the rest of your night.
Love and respect, man.
Andre the Giant, thanks for calling in, brother. We appreciate it, man. He's he calls in every time we do one. I can't say enough how much I appreciate everyone that calls in, takes part in Beyond the Harmony, and gives us a reason to continue to do this. Make sure y'all call in 1-605-562-0444. Our show ID tonight is 145870. It should be updated on your screen. I believe we have another caller. Let's see who we got. You're on with Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart. Who do we have calling in?
Cedric.
What's up, brother? You got a question for Mo Hart?
Yeah. Hey, man.
What's up, sir?
I'm calling from Atlanta, man. And, I just want to say, man, that song Searching for Peace is truly something, man. It get me through hard times. And to be honest, I just heard it last year. One day I was at work, and I just want to know everything about Bone, and I found you guys, and I was like, wow, I ain't never heard this. And I've been listening to this song ever since. And not knocking nobody off or anything. It's nothing like the original Mo Thugs.
Much love. Love and respect, bro. Appreciate you for that. We doing what we can, man. We just getting the message out to the people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. Getting the message out to the people. No bull mess. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for that.
Hey, no problem. I follow you on Facebook, just trying to stay in touch with you guys, just see what you guys got coming next. I'll forever be a fan.
Be on the lookout for that Heartfelt Entertainment. We got Where I've Been coming out soon, featuring Dejanay. Be on the lookout for that.
All right, man. I'll be on the lookout.
Appreciate it.
Cedric, thanks for calling in, brother. Hey, Cedric, have you heard both? Have you heard both versions of Searching for Peace? Have you heard both of them or just one?
I have both versions of Searching for Peace on my phone because I like the old version on Trials and Tribulation, and when I want to really feel it, but the one that's on the Mo Thug album, it sounded a little upbeat. And how Bull came in, I love that version too.
Yeah, that's dope,
much
man.
Love. Much love.
Thanks for calling in, brother. We appreciate you, man. You have a nice night.
You as well.
Guys, if you want to call in, speak to Mo Hart tonight, it is 1-605-562-0444. Show ID is 145870. Call in and speak with Mo Hart. Couple good callers here so far. While we're in between callers, I was re-looking at the questions from the last one, and I think this was one of your questions, John, but did you record, or was there any reason that you were not in the Mo Thug family tree? I think we talked about it, and maybe you said that you guys, like, did you all collab together on that verse? It didn't seem like you had, like, your own...
Actually, we took like I want to say like maybe 4 bars a piece, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it was like you would hear maybe Boog, and then you would hear Tone, and then you would hear me, and we bunched it together. We didn't separately spit bars. We spit bars together. So we split up the verse. We split up a 16.
Did they want you guys, like, did they want you guys to like split up and kind of have like a split verse like that, or did you guys have an opportunity to do like longer verses and just chose to split it up like that?
No, because it was feasible because of the amount of artists that was on the track. So we said we came up with the idea of Poetic Hustla'z that we'll put our verse, we'll split the verse together, all 3 of us. Do something different.
Yeah. I love those cuts, the Mo Thug cuts that were like, you know, like everybody, you know, because you got to hear such a diverse sound when there were all the Mo Thugs, or a lot of the Mo Thugs on a track together. I also noticed, like, when you guys did the Other Side outro on I think it was Family Reunion, you were the only Poetic Hustler actually on that one, right?
Yeah. Because I believe at that time, I don't think we were all together for that song. I think it was whoever was on that song, we were around at the time.
Yeah.
Was Mo Thuggin' the final Poetic Hustler song of the Mo Thug era, the original?
That actually was. That was our last song.
Good one.
I think we might have another caller here. Let's bring them in, see what they got. You are on with Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart. Who do we have calling in?
Yo, hey, this is Beth. Hello.
What's up, girl?
Hey.
What's your question for Mo Hart?
Hey, yes, I'm actually curious about a song or CD, Day of Reckoning or something.
Okay, Day of Reckoning. That was an album that.
Hustler? Yes.
Yeah, that was a Poetic Hustla'z album that Tony Tone from Poetic Hustla'z he incorporated.
Now, how can I get a hold of that?
Ooh.
I'm not sure, but if you pull up on Facebook, if you pull up Pastor Tone Chappelle or Mr. Never Give Up, Tone Chappelle,
okay.
Look for that, and you get that information from him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
And then you probably can find some of the music on YouTube. But definitely, if you want to get the full album, he will be the one to tell you how to get that.
Okay. Love Mo Thugs.
Love and respect
you guys.
to you.
Love you.
All right.
Love you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. All right. What do we got?
Yeah.
Looks like
that Wooed Out track was pretty dope on that mixtape.
Yeah.
That's a good question. All right, I think we got another caller. Let's see who we got. They are just coming in now. You're on with Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart. Who do we have calling?
Hey, hello.
Hey, what's up, brother? Who do we have calling in?
Yo.
Oh, my name is Oliver Hernandez.
Oliver, what's up, man? Thanks for calling in. What's your question for Mo Hart?
What's up, Oliver?
Oh, hey, yeah, I just have a question. Man, Poetic Hustla'z, man, the Mo Thugs movement, man, it was like so dope, man. Like, you know, but I just have a quick question. I want to know, I know Tony Tone, like he turned into a pastor, but like, do you keep in touch? And like, what happened with Boogie Night?
Oh, Boog is fine, man. Boog is fine. You know, he's changed his life over to Christ. Well, given his life over to Christ, and you know, he's making great strides and things that he's got going on. I believe he's working on some videography. He's doing videography work, if I'm not mistaken, as well as still recording music. As you asked about Tony Tone. He still does music and everything, but you know, as he's doing the pastor thing, you know, he's guiding, you know, the Lord's sheep, you know, bringing them in and, you know, just changing people's lives one day at a time.
All right, man.
Thanks for calling in, Oliver. We appreciate you, brother.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Mo Hart, do you ever hear the Pastor Tone album? It's like an EP.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of different cuts. Tone is a very creative and unique guy. I've never met anyone like Tone, and you know he has his own style, and I dig that.
Yeah.
Love and respect. Pastor Tone, Boogie Night. TH for life, baby.
Yeah, I really, you know, it'd be great to get Pastor Tone on here sometime, or even Boogie Night to speak to them. We'll have to use our Mo Hart connection and make that happen, because I know the fans would love to hear from both of them. Poetic Hustla'z is such a huge piece of you know, Mo Thug, and because it was such a big piece of Mo Thug, you know, it's such a huge thing to the fans. Not to say that any other Mo Thugs are not as important to the fans, but the Poetic Hustlers seem to be real special. Do you think that's just because that you know, you guys got the opportunity to put the album out, or what is it that you think makes Poetic Hustlers still so special to the fans after all this time?
I believe it's the message that we brought across, that we projected to the masses. We didn't sugarcoat anything. It was, you know, we presented ourselves, the life that we were living, and, you know, we just showing that there's another side, a better side, you know what I'm saying? Even though we're going through all the things we're going through, there is a better side. And I believe that if not one person, we grabbed one person, and one person received what we were projecting and what we are projecting, and you can see it even in our walks of life now. You know what I'm saying? As you see us progressing and see us through social media, you see that life has taken another path for us, and we're walking this other path now, as opposed to where we came from. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that was the motive behind the single "Where I've Been" that I'm about to drop. So
I'm excited to hear that. I can't wait to has your daughter done any other releases, or did you say this was going to be her debut release?
No, this is her debut.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Is there a date on that yet, or are you still working out the date?
We haven't finalized the date. I'm still waiting for some more details to go through, and then I'll be able to give a prompt date.
Okay. Well, let's take another call here. Let's see who we got on the line real quick. You're on Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart. Who do we have calling in? You're on with Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart. Who do we have? It's a fucking rap for you. gonna have to call back in. If you guys want to call in, they get shy. We see them in the chat, and they're all saying,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling. Get a little shy, get a little,
some of them
phone
do.
Shy.
I think that I see people in the chat, and I think that they want to call in, and then they get on the line and get ready to talk to you, and it's like it's not an everyday thing for some of them. You are a big deal. I see it on your page all the time. Fans will just tag you and just talk about the impact on your life, or on their life rather, that you've had. Is it still surprising when that happens to you? You haven't been in Mo Thugs or anything for a long time. You haven't dropped like a record of your own for a long time. Is it still like a surprising thing and a refreshing thing when a fan says, you touched me in such a huge way, you changed my life? Even after all these years, you're still your music is still changing people's lives.
It does. And every time I hear it or just think about it, I get goosebumps, because it's an affirmation for me. It's an affirmation for me. It just lets me know that what we set out to do and what we were on, we were on the right path.
Yeah,
we were on the right path. And it shows still to this day, because look at the amount of love and support and just humbleness from the fans. I love that, and I love that we were able to give that to the fans. I love that we were able to give you what we were projecting.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that you guys grew into like what you were talking about. And what I mean by that is you guys may have always been good souls. I think that the three of you are good souls even back then, but you guys were young, admittedly, like, very different than now.
Yeah.
But everything
definitely
that you said as maturing men, you guys all kind of grew into that. Even Boogie, who I think, everyone says was kind of like the most wild of the group. Like you said,
he was the wild child.
Yeah, and
he
was
the wild child. Yeah, and I praise the Heavenly Father for that. Because again, he was our wild child, but he's come a long way. Yeah. We all have come a long way, and it's a great thing to see. It just shows, like you said, the maturity. The willingness to strive to do better and be greater.
When you guys
got a question.
Oh, go ahead, John.
Just regarding intro and insanity. I love that song. Like when it ends, it's a long song, but when it ends, I'm like, man, if this song went on for another 15 minutes, I'd still be okay with it. It sounded like like it's just the beat and the groove, and you guys sounded like you were having a good time, like just feeling the vibe of the beat, riding it.
Yeah.
And like you guys going, and Flesh comes in, and was anybody else gonna drop on that song, like, and make it a super Mo Thug Posse track, or is it set to be just Poetic Hustlers, Flesh Bone, and that was that? Like, is there any stories behind that?
That's just what it was. We when we heard the track, and we went to Flesh, and I think Flesh was in the studio at that time. He was working on maybe possibly a couple of his projects, and we was like, hey, yo, come spit on this track. We need a nice hook for this track. And he heard the track, and it went from there, and we went in. So, any track that you heard with any of the Bone members, we specifically went to them and said, hey, we want you on this track. We want you on this track.
I was going to ask that, how the features worked out. It's crazy because, and we talked about this in the interview, but, Poetic Hustlers are the only ones that worked with every member of Bone, any Mo Thug that worked with every member of Bone in some way, because of course you got the 4 features on the album, and then you got the Bizzy cameo in the video, which is also very rare, as we talked about last time. Bizzy making a Mo Thug anything was such a rarity, and yet you guys are able to pull it off. All 5 members of Bone are somehow involved with that album. That's a monumental thing.
was showing homage and paying respect to, to them for opening those doors for us. You know what I'm saying? And showing that respect. We on a label, we going hard now, so it was fitting for us to pay that respect and homage to who brought us into the game.
Were there tracks for that album, like with other Mo Thugs, and this is just an example, but like let's say Poetic Hustlers and Soulja Boy, were there tracks like that got recorded from that album that didn't make it, or anything that didn't make it that maybe should have, or?
No. But like I said, we had a few songs that we had recorded. Like I said, Hustler 3 Deep, and it was a few more that I can't remember the names of. But we had to actually go back into the studio and redo, most of the songs that we had originally recorded for the Poetic Hustlers album. We had to go back in and redo a lot of them things. So what you hear is us going back in a second time and flaming it up.
What caused the re-record for you guys to have to re-record the album?
I believe Lazy was saying something along the lines of he didn't think those songs were they weren't there, or they didn't sound right, or something along those lines. So we went back in and
did you agree?
We did songs.
Did you feel like the re-recordings that became the album were better, or were there any of them that you felt like those original versions?
Yeah, they definitely. The re-record was superb. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have any complaints. I'm sure my brothers don't either. We did what we did. I think it was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Once I hear what we put out, as opposed to before we did the re-record, I'm satisfied. We could have did the other songs, but we could have used those for the next album had we had the opportunity to do the next Poetic Hustlers album. We'd have touched those up or redid those, and we'd have put those to the second album.
Yeah. It's a beautiful album. I believe we have another caller. Let's see who we have calling in now. You're on with Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart. Who do we have?
Hey, this is Chris.
Chris, what's up, brother? What's your question for Mo Hart?
Man, hey, I got a few questions. I'm a real Bone Thug fan. Hey, I'm calling out of Bunkie, Louisiana, down south.
Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know, man, how involved was Bizzy Bone with the Mo Thugs movement? Because, I seen that video, that Did he really wanna? I seen that video and I seen Bizzy on there. And I almost went crazy when I seen Bizzy open up his shirt. I remember that. And I was like, yeah, my nigga, he down with him. Because he was always never, around. So how involved he was. And, man, I had another question, too, man. And I want to know, from your point of view, who was the real leader of the group? Because I'm a real Bone fan, and I listen to a lot of songs. And I don't just go off the rap, I give it the persona, and I put a lot into the mix on who could be the leader. Sometimes I thought Wish was the leader, even though he was out. But who was the leader, and how involved was Bizzy? If you can just answer that right quick, and I'm out of here, y'all.
Okay. Well, Bizzy was rarely involved with Mo Thug. You got to remember, he was just breaking out into his solo thing. He was on the move with that, the Seventh Sign, and the Heaven's Movie and all that. He was taking care of all of that. So, I finally came to the realization that's why, you never really saw him around as much, or you just caught him on certain cameos because, he still had his own thing going on aside from Bone. Then your second question, Lazy has always been the leader. He'll tell you that he'll tell you that to your face.
I think a lot of the
He's
other
always
ones
been
would
a
too.
leader.
I think Bizzy or Crazy. I think any of them would agree with that.
Yeah, every last one of them will tell you. Lazy has always been the leader of Bone. He's the mastermind behind it all.
He held it together too. We talk sometimes about the dark era for Bone. There's been some times where they were not on top of the world, and Lazy really when people wanted to part and go their own ways and stuff, Lazy was the one that kind of pulled everybody back together and said, hey, we got a legacy as fucking Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I think there's a lot of props that belong to Lazy for holding this group together for 25 years.
Yeah.
For sure. I think we got another caller. Let's see who we may have on. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have calling in?
Yo.
Nobody. Okay. All right. Another scared one. If you guys want to call in, you can call in and be on mute, not say anything, or talk to the one and only Mo Hart by calling 1-605-562-0444. Our show ID tonight is 145870. If you got a question in the chat, you can also drop your question in the chat room, and don't forget to hit that super chat button while you're hanging out in the chat room. Show some support for the show. Mohart, when I was going over the questions that didn't get asked, one of the things that I guess I wanted your input on, and it seems like the question may just be a simple answer, but maybe not. What do you think from your perspective could have been done to make Trials and Tribulations even more successful than it was? Because I think it was pretty successful in the Bone world, but what prevented it from being a breakout album and bringing you guys to that next level where you had more than just, I'd say, like the Bone fans?
Well, I believe it. Whatever happened in the midst of us dropping Day and Night, which was the second video and the second single, I believe whatever took place from that point to now, it really affected everything. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe if we'd have been able to do a third album, everything would be great. But to this day, there's been no, I have no understanding. There's, you can't say we flopped or, there's no explanation for it. So with that being said,
Yeah. It seemed like
it was a top 100. It was a top 100 album. It was on the Billboard charts.
Yeah,
you guys
so
the only group to not have a follow-up.
It's not like we put out an album. We put out an album, then we put out a single, and then boom, it's a no-go. But then not only to go from one album single, then a second single and video, then you would think like we would be on to the next movement or the next project, but I don't. Again, we left in the dark. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what happened.
It definitely seemed like that they felt like it was going to be a success. Two True dropped first. They only got that one video. There was nothing there. You guys drop after. You get a video, and then you get the second video. And I thought the second video was a sure sign, that great things were on their way for you guys.
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too.
And it seemed like that video was successful. It was playing in pretty regular rotation. BET shit
everywhere.
Like
everywhere you looked, it was playing.
Let's see.
Everywhere you looked, it was playing.
I vividly remember seeing Trials and Tribulations, the lady singing on the steps. Like that's one of my memories from that year, is seeing that video like almost every day on Rap City. I think it might have been on the Rap City countdown. Like I think it might have been ranked in like the top 10 or the top 20, whatever they were doing. So it was there. Like that album was a hit, and
Great
I was there
videos
not
too.
a second.
It's not like those
Yeah.
videos look like
Thank
shit. Those were really, you could tell that those were those were done well. Some videos just look like shit, and especially when you're if you're an affiliate artist, sometimes you take the short end of stuff, and maybe you're not up to par. But those things were beautiful videos. I believe we got another caller on here. Let's see who we got calling in. Let's see. You're on with Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart. Who do we have?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yep.
Yo.
All right. Yeah. So this is Creepy. What's up, man?
What's up,
brother?
Mo
Hart?
What's happening?
Hey, I got a question. Okay, so back in the 90s, they used to. All right, so everybody, was kind of confused a little bit on Bone Thugs with the gang situation. Like either a lot of people would tell me, no, they're territorial gang, and then some people were like, no, they're Crips. No, they got their own gang more. And then even in the songs, they say like, talking about how they either roll with a gang, or even Bizzy talking about throwing up 7 sign and stuff in front of people and everything. I'm just a little confused and want to see if, like, I know, like, being part of Mo Thugs and stuff, and I was just wondering if that was like, kind of like just the a family thing, or or were you part of like, with them, or I mean, what's the whole situation on that one?
No, Mo Thugs was simply we was a street clique. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't. It wasn't about no gang. No Crip, no blood, none of that. It wasn't none of that. We were territorial about our strip, our hood. And you have factions along that strip. And you step into our zone, then most times it was fight or it was beef about something, but we wasn't like no Crips and Bloods or GDs, nothing like that. We weren't gang affiliate. You know what I'm saying? We was just cliques. Outside of that, you did have gangs running the streets of Cleveland, but I can't say that at one point they were, or but at the time that we were rolling, it was about our strip.
I think that's something too that has always made kind of Bone and the Mo Thug movement unique, and that's why they were able to do what they did, because in the 90s, like, that gang affiliations were not only the gang affiliation, but it would also kind of dictate who you were affiliated with musically in a lot of situations. But Bone didn't have that, and that's, I think, why they were able to work with Pac, with Big, with Easy, with Pun, with so many people, because they didn't have that affiliation. They weren't throwing up that they were a thing. They were throwing up Bone. That's it. Bone and Mighty Mo Thug, and
that's the set. That's the set.
And
that's who we were. It was a family affair. Blood ain't always family. Even though there were families integrated within Mo Thug, there were actual families within Mo Thug.
Mo Thug too, it's been all the way. We can date it back as far as like Faces of Death. They were shouting out Mo Thug, even in Faces of Death. It's like Mo Thug has been a thing before it was a record label.
It says that Boogie Night was on the intro for Faces of Death, but I thought the intro was full motion, but he's listed as being on Faces of Death album, and I remember seeing his name in the credits.
Definitely.
I always
he probably went by his real name, or I don't think it was. If you don't see a stage name, he probably went by his real name on it, as far as the credits is concerned.
No, I think it said like Boogie Night, not Nike. By any chance, do you know what the name change was? I mean, it's not that big of a change from Night to Nikke. Do you remember like that change happening and what reason was behind it?
No.
I always thought maybe it was just printed incorrectly. Like maybe like Bone gave somebody like, told them what to write, and maybe they just heard it wrong or something. One of the questions that I had coming out of the last one, and this is kind of, you might not even remember the answer. This is so minor, but on "Cross Me and You Die" in the chorus, I believe that's Crazy Bone saying "Never coming back no more," which he says in another song. Was that a sample, or did he come in and do that in the studio for that?
No, he actually did that. We actually broke that down too. You'll hear Tony Tone, you'll hear Boogie Night, you'll hear me, and I'm right before Crazy.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah. That's...
And if you die, realize you asked for this. That's me.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's again that's what made Mo Thug special. And just like the breaking up of the tracks like that, and you guys all like there wasn't so much about, okay, you take a 16, you like, you guys really did a great job almost sharing stuff. I think that's why people love, like, the family scripture songs, the thug devotion type songs, the other side songs, shit like that, because again, that diverse nature that you guys created. Was that easy, or did that almost seem hard to make those big posse songs and only having such a small like chance to shine?
It was pretty easy. It was nothing hard to contribute when it's a family affair. Is your contribution is appreciated. You feel what I'm saying? So it being as minimal or whatever, it doesn't make a difference when you contribute. So for me, it was easy. It wasn't a hard task. Us working together, we putting our minds together creatively, and we getting the task done.
Yeah, it's
and we shining.
Yeah, it is. It's such a. When's the last time like that you listened to like the first Mo Thug or the second Mo Thug album? Has it been a long time, or do you still revisit those tracks?
Oh no, every other day I'm listening.
Yeah.
Nice.
Matter of fact, I was just listening the day before yesterday. And I listen to everybody. I listen to everybody from Two True to Ken Dog, Trey, MT5. I listen to everybody.
Did you guys ever get prints of the back cover of the first Mo Thug CD where you guys are all lined up?
Oh, that
because the fans love that picture.
I've had those, and I've given them away. I've gotten them again and given them away. Yeah, I've seen those things so much.
That's an amazing picture. That one of all you guys, like with Flesh in the front and everybody in the fatigues, and just.
Oh yeah, I had fun with that. We were actually out in the desert. We were actually in the desert in California when we shot those photos.
What was Flesh the only Bone member there, or were there other Bone members there that we just didn't see pictures of?
No, everybody, the whole Mo Thug was out there in the desert.
Wow.
Actually, Bone took the pictures that they have. If you ever see pictures of them in the desert, that took those pictures there.
Oh shit! From like the same day, it was like a joint photo shoot almost.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, for
a
me,
lot of our photo shoots were done like that. They're shooting theirs and we're shooting, and Mo Thug is shooting ours.
And was it all strictly just a photo shoot, or was there any other business taking place while you were out there?
I mean, we were doing everything from recording in the studios, taking trips. I mean, we go shark fishing. We were doing all type of stuff. Hiking in the mountains. We actually had to run through the mountains. Somebody yelled that some bear or mountain lion was chasing us, so we take off through the mountains, and police had to reroute us, and we had to get back to the cars because we had traveled too far into the mountains, and we was to some point we wasn't even supposed to be beyond. And yeah, we had some adventures, man.
What do you think is the craziest thing that you can remember, like from being on the road? Because it's like you guys must have seen so many things that you were not used to being from Cleveland. Like, what's the craziest thing that you think you can remember from being on the road?
Just actually going down south and just seeing how how hospitable the people were down south, and how lively they were. I mean, this is during the time of Freaknik, so you were able to see a lot of this and a lot of that. But again, what I took from all of that, the people of Georgia were very hospitable. They welcomed you with open arms. They were respectful. I've been there and I love to go back.
Yeah. Are there plans for you and your daughter to possibly do like any touring at all? Is that the hope
we
that
love
this project?
We love that. We love that. So again, we're pushing with the first single, and then we'll take it from there, and that will be a wonderful thing. Because she's been talking about that and she's been asking about that. And I said, well, there's some details we have to iron out, but, God's will, that will happen.
Yeah, that would be great for you guys to.
He's gotten us this far, and he's been putting this. He's been the leader in everything that's been going on as far as Heartfelt is concerned. And it's doing what it's doing because he's the head of it. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, we're moving accordingly, and we're moving, in a timely fashion. So definitely, you'll be hearing from us very, very soon.
Guys, if you want to get in here and talk with Mo Hart before we close the lines out, you still have, we'll leave it open a couple more minutes here, guys. You can call in 1-605-562-0444. The show ID tonight is 145870. If you're not calling in, you can drop your question in the chat. While you're in the chat, don't forget to hit that super chat button and help support the show. Get those calls in before we close the line out. I do believe we have another caller right now. Let's take a look. You're on with Beyond the Harmony and Mo Hart of the Poetic Hustla'z. What's your question tonight, and who are we talking to?
Hey, this is 1985 Gemini.
1985
Hey.
Gemini. What's up, girl? What's your question for Mo Hart?
Yes. Jesus, can you help us clear our soul because we're searching for peace? Dear Lord,
Searching
can
for
you
peace,
help
dear Lord, can you help me?
I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Much love.
I don't know what to ask. I do know that I do want to call in and say that I love Poetic Hustla'z. I love the original stuff. You guys' music really did touch a lot of people's lives and change a lot of lives.
Love and respect. Love and respect.
But I do want to ask, like, when Bone Thugs and Harmony left Cleveland, before they left, and when they told you guys that they would come back to get the rest of you guys, did you feel it in your heart that that they would come back, or did you have any doubts?
No, I had no doubts. No doubts at all. When because everything we were doing, it was showing face. Never steered me wrong. So it was like, yeah, I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it, and sure enough, it happened.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing that they called their shot. Babe Ruth called their shot. They said, hey, we're gonna get on. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make Mo Thug. We're gonna come back. We're gonna sign these guys. And for you, it must have been the craziest because you're sitting in jail and this shit's going on, and you're hearing about it. And knowing
Man,
that,
I was sick with it, but I knew I knew when I came home, I knew that there was going to be some way that someone was either going to contact me or I was going to make my way to find everybody, because I knew everybody was going to be together by the time I got out. I knew it. So with that being said, I had to ride out that little time and, get my mind right, because my life was about to take a turn.
Yeah. It I often wonder if Mo Thug, what was the ultimate, I guess, Mo Hart goal? If Mo Thug would have continued, what was the goal to continue as Poetic Hustlers and get Poetic Hustlers to like a Bone level, or was there ever what was the end goal, I guess, for you guys? Would you still like to be signed? And I know this kind of sounds like a silly question, but signed with Mo Thug and just still doing the Mo Thug thing, or eventually did you hope that even Poetic Hustlers could expand past Mo Thug? Like there'd be a reason for that.
Well, definitely, I saw past the Mo Thug thing, because I wanted to venture into television and movies. I wanted to do that as well as recording. Not only that, I wanted to, establish myself as, not just an artist, but an entrepreneur, having my own and, getting my own team together and bringing them alongside Mo Thug,
At that time, were there any other side ventures that Poetic Hustlers was possibly getting involved in? Like a lot of hip hop artists get involved with clothing and movie and alcohol. Like was there anything in the immediate future for you guys, or was that kind of not?
Yeah, we were actually talking to someone about doing a Poetic Hustlers clothing line. If you ever see a picture of me, Tony Tone, and a young lady by the name of April Love, she's a hairdresser for Bone.
I met her out there.
If you ever see a picture of me, her, and Tony Tone, I have on a Poetic Hustlers outfit. You'll actually see it has Poetic on it and PH, and we were trying to get our clothing line done, and we had the little affiliation with Adidas at one time. That's why if you see on the back of our album cover, we had the Adidas. Adidas was sponsoring us.
Oh, that's great. Just Poetic Hustlers or all of Mo Thug?
Yeah. It was just Poetic Hustlers at this time, because we doing the album and just giving us a new look.
How did that come about? How did Adidas end up sponsoring
I believe it had something to do with Relativity and Steve Lobel.
Okay.
Affiliation with Mo Thug.
Was that the only sponsor Poetic Hustlers got, or did you guys have some other sponsors at that time?
I believe we were doing something, or we were supposed to be doing something with Wentworth as well. John Wentworth had a clothing line. Okay. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Wentworth.
The name.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember the name.
Did April Love do the hair for Boogie Nights and Tony Tone? Like some of those real elaborate curls they had, like the ones that Boogie Nights had. Did she do hair for them too?
Yeah, April Love did that.
Oh,
April Love did that. Or if April Love wasn't, she was doing hair for one of the Bone. I think she had assistants that were helping her braid hair, or Boog probably knew somebody, that could do his hair.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet her while I was out there in LA for the Bizzy Bone music video, and she had mentioned that she did Earth, Wind, and Fire's hair as well. And I told her, I was like, you're a big part, and I'm actually saying this to the people listening, that April Love is a big part of the image of Bone that we see, being that her and her team did some of the coolest hairstyles that we've ever seen. So just shout out to April Love and her work.
She was even shaving my head at one point.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because
That's
I
awesome.
was rocking the ball. I was rocking the ball head back then. And I let her shake my head a couple times.
Was that like were you recognized like almost as when people didn't know you guys, did they know you as like the bald one where they both had like the braids and everything all the time? I know that happens to
Yeah.
like a lot of
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Or when I took my shirt off. Or when I took my shirt off.
Yeah.
Those were like the signatures.
Right.
Taking the shirt off, the bald head, and climbing the speakers on the stage.
Oh yeah, you guys must have got real wild on stage. I know you guys did a lot of like the bone shows and opened a lot, and for the bone shows, and Mo Thug traveled a lot. Were there any other
No
were
doubt.
there ever like just Poetic Hustlers shows? Like, and what I mean, like, was there ever like a headline show that it was just the Poetic Hustlers were the big act that night?
Well, actually, when we did the promo tour, we were able to do things like that. We actually did a promo tour where we toured. I want to say the Midwest, and I want to say some of the South, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and we rocked out. We rocked out. We hit up colleges and everything.
Oh
And
no shit.
um, yeah, like Poetic Hustlers, we did a lot of footwork. We Steve Lobel got us in the vans, and we just started hitting the states, hitting city to city, and just pumping up Poetic Hustlers.
Do,
Um,
do you remember how much
like I
time, like
said,
roughly, you guys would spend on like stage as Poetic Hustlers? Like how long one of your sets usually was?
shoot, I couldn't even remember.
Yeah,
I couldn't even remember. I think we were doing like maybe like two or three songs,
yeah,
depending on where we were.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
I always wondered how that went. Like, cause unlike, sometimes I'll go to a show and there's some undercards that I don't know who they are, but here it is. It's like in-house guys performing before Bone that everybody knows. So like that must have been pretty cool for the fans. Like, did you guys get a good response? Did everybody know the songs and everybody familiar with what was going on?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, like I said, in one of the previous interviews, we were establishing ourselves as in our own rights as an individual group, like for real, because we were starting to get the same amount of how should I say the same amount of um, responses as they were. When you said Poetic Hustlers, they was going just as crazy as you said, as if you said Bone Thugs and Harmony. We were having Bambuku people in the rooms. They were following wherever we were. People were following us. They were following us. They was kicking it with us. We were kicking it with the fans and everything. Like we wasn't turning nobody away. We was kicking it with the fans,
what
showing love.
did there any like crazy fan stories? Bone always has like some really crazy fan stories because Bone fans and Mo Thug fans are sometimes we can be a little bit extra, a little bit more. Did you guys ever have like a crazy interaction with any fans?
No, no, not unless it was all of us on stage. I think one time we were all on stage and somebody jumped on the stage and ran up on the stage like I think but somebody grabbed them
Damn.
before they could do anything. But it was one of those moments like what in the heck is going on here?
You just don't know what to think. It's
Who is this?
crazy to be an
Yeah, like
entertainer. You
who
don't
is this? Like
right.
who is this? Like what's up with him?
You don't know why he's jumping up there. It could be to hug you. It could be to hurt you.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. You've lived a
But then I have times where I don't be mindful of those dangers, and I've had moments where I'm on stage 1 minute, next minute I'm jumping in the crowd and running through the crowd. I don't know. I'll just be having moments where I'm just in my zone, and I'm performing, so I'm not thinking about dangers and stuff like that. I'm just thinking about performing.
Have you ever crowd surfed? Is that something Mo Hart's ever done? Is got to ride the wave
Briefly.
on? Yeah.
Briefly, yeah, briefly. And I think that's what prompted me to start jumping off the stage. But a lot of times when I jump off the stage, I think people know to move out the way. And when they move out the way, I got a slick little landing when I land, but I'm trying to be with the crowd and, hype the crowd up some more.
Before
I like to involve the crowd and rock with the crowd.
Sound like
I was just looking at the Planet Groove performance, and I was just wondering if it was hot in that jacket and that beanie inside.
Everybody asks me that, man. Nah, I wasn't hot. I had on that Scully and that coat. No, I wasn't hot. You'd have known I was hot because I'd have been out that coat, that Scully, and my shirt.
Man, you guys really had good stage presence. I mean, you guys look like such pros, and I'm still baffled that it's just one album. It's such a mind. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, this isn't a question, but it was a time when I went with a bunch of guys to guys and girls to the forest, and we all just blacked out. We had tents. I woke up. The reason why I woke up was somebody was blasting Weekend Buzz, and it was Saturday morning, like 6 a.m. So that started the day right. It started the day right, and it was a great day.
Show you right.
Before we wrap up with you, Mo Hart, I see in our chat room a question, and Tommy Knockers is actually looking to find out about making songs with different members, and I believe he wants to know how he could go about, or if somebody wanted to go about making music with you. Are you doing features with people? And if you are, how do people contact you to set up a feature with you?
Contact me at mohart009@gmail.com, or you can leave me a message on my business page, Heartfelt Entertainment / excuse me, / Heartfelt Media, which is on Facebook. Yeah,
and we'll connect people too if anybody's trying to reach Mo Hart and you're trying to get him on a track. We would be happy to connect any MCs out there that are trying to possibly get Mo Hart on a track. You can reach out to us as well. So.
Yeah.
I think it's been a great call-in tonight. I'm glad a lot of our fans got the opportunity to call in and speak with Mo Hart.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I know our chat has just been on fire tonight as well. So much love has been sent your way. In fact, I'm going to send you the link to this after, so you can see all the messages that went on in this chat. Before we let you go, though, is there anything else that you want to drop out here? You might as well plug that single that's coming one more time too for anybody that's just tuning in.
No doubt. The single is Where I've Been, dropping soon, very, very shortly. Featuring Dejanay, coming to you live and direct from Heartfelt Entertainment. For any contacts, you can reach me at mohart, mohart009@gmail.com, or follow my links, Heartfelt Realities, which is both at Facebook and Instagram. See ya.
Yeah. Mo Hart, my brother, I want to thank you for once again coming on, dealing with us, asking you all the crazy questions on Beyond the Harmony. I always have a great time.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, I have a great time speaking with you, man. You keep it 100% every time with us, and you're one of my favorite guests. So I thank you so much, and I hope this isn't the last time. I hope you let us bring you on and harass you at least one more time here in the future.
Hey, I'm here. So as long as y'all, y'all want me to come through, I'll stop through. You know what I'm saying? And I love the invite. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I'd like to give a shout out to BHP, my team over BHP Promotions, definitely helping me do the dang on thing and move this ball forward. Also want to give a shout out to all my fans, love and respect to all of you. You know, great things is in store, and be on the lookout. I love you.
Boom. Mo Hart, my brother, thank you again for calling in, and we hope you have a great rest of your evening, man.
You guys as well, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Take care, man. Yeah, Johnny. There we go. Another one in the books. Mo Hart, and we did it live. Our second live. The first one was Soulja Boy. Our second live with a call-in guest anyway. And man, it was good. I appreciate all the fans. You guys have been awesome. I see the chat room is still lighting up. And if anybody's listening to this live and you haven't heard the pre-record that we previously did with Mo Hart, you guys want to check that out. It's 3 parts. The first part is just John and I because Mo Hart called in a little later, but parts 2 and 3 are Mo Hart. And that's a fucking excellent interview, man. You guys want to make sure you check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, and that was at the time. I remember feeling like that was the best one that I had participated in at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember doing a lot of research that week. Like that was the most research I think I did. Not that I needed to, because I had the album. I had Mo Thug 2 as well for Mo Thuggin', and Poetic Hustlers were a huge favorite of mine. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything out there, re-listen to all the posse cuts. And you know what I realized tonight is just listening to Mo Hart, he truly is a true, humbly united gathering soul.
It's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like he embodies that just the humbleness. And I also love that everyone we've spoken to, especially the Mo Thugs, they're just in awe of what has happened and transpired, and just as confused in some ways as we are of like of what could have been, and how it's like we all just wanted something to happen, and it did. We got 2 beautiful albums out of it, 4 total, but with the original cast, those 2 albums are magnificent. They're really, really good albums. So at least we have that. We also have the Poetic Hustlers full album CD, the 2 True CD. So it's not like we didn't get something out of it. They had a good run.
Yeah.
And it's good that he's moving on now, and he's got his daughter coming out. So the family tree continues.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that he's, investing that time in his daughter, and it's good too that his daughter wants to do it, and music didn't make him bitter on music, so he's encouraging her to do it. And I think it's good too that he seems interested in the originals project, but he's not banking on that. He's got his chips somewhere else, and he's down to do it, but he's investing in other things, and I think that's smart for Mo Hart.
Yeah, and it also sounded like between interviewing him and speaking with Sin, it seemed like they were encouraged to start their own brands and branch off, like not just to be the underdogs of Bone, but to start their own empires that are part of the bigger empire. Like they were the states, and Bone Thugs and Harmony is like the United States, but they're still a state. It's like, hey, this is the state of Poetic Hustlers here. So
yeah,
it's good that they all had that idea that they needed to establish their own brands, and that's cool, and yeah, that's nice hearing from those guys.
I've gone ahead and opened the phone lines back up here for a few minutes before we wrap the show up. Mo Hart is off the line, but if you want to call in and talk to Cecil West and John Lippy, you can do it by calling 1-605-562-0444. Our show ID tonight is 145870. Give us a call. Let's talk a little Bone, a little Mo Thug, a little Poetic Hustlers, whatever you want. Shout out to everybody that's done our super chat in the chat. Your super chats help support the show and help keep it going, help the cool things coming to the show. So shout out to everybody that did a super chat tonight. I think Matthew Weaver did one, 1985 Gemini, Kevin Starks. We appreciate all you guys. If you haven't hit that super chat, make sure you guys hit that super chat and give us a call. Let's talk a little Bone. Well, we're still on here. You know, we only get to do the
You,
live once a month, so get it in.
it'd be crazy if the single with Hart and Darshanae is successful enough to the point where Bloodline Harmony features Darshanae on like a single.
Oh man.
You know, like if the Mo Thug reunion is actually like the offspring of Bone, like that would be a good way to kind of like kick back and rekindle, get everybody back together. You know, having kids, you kind of put aside some differences and get together for a barbecue or whatever. And so maybe the kids, maybe Bloodline Harmony, Darshanae, and whatever other offspring in the whole lineage of the family tree. What if their collabos could bring it all back together? That would be something.
Wouldn't it be crazy if she like and this is a weird comparison, but imagine if she like Miley Cyrus like blew up and gave her dad a second run that was unconnected to his first run. You know what I mean? Like imagine if she blows up and Mo Hart you know, gets big again and it's got nothing to do with Bone. Like it'd be crazy if like her thing got bigger, you know what I mean? And like people didn't even know him for that. And it's like that sounds wild, right? But this is fucking music. Like anything could fucking happen. She could have a hit single. Like anything could happen.
Yeah, that would be. It kind of reminds me of Busta Rhymes blowing up out of the leaders of the new school, and then trying to bring them back. But that would be something. And Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, and there was somebody else too. I think is Princess Leia the daughter of Elizabeth Taylor or somebody really famous?
Just as I just want to change real quick. I see Tommy Knocker saying, I wish I could call in, but I'm in London. I don't have international calling. You can see down at the bottom, it says if you're a non-US caller, you can go to callin.beyondtheharmony.com and it will give you a local number. So instead of dialing the 1605 number, it'll give you a local number for where you are, and the show ID is the same. So if you're not a US caller, still take the time, call in.beyondtheharmony.com, get your local number and give us a shout. Let's talk Bone. There's a lot of shit going on in the chat right now. Andre the Giant said that we need to reach out to Powder P for a live. We would love to have Powder P on here. Powder P is like hard as fuck to find, and I'm the guy that found K Chill. I have found some fucking people. I am good at what I do. I am fucking good. And I got some leads on Powder P. I think I found some like cousins or some shit. But this motherfucker, he is hard to find, bro. He is in my he's like on my Tamika Wright list almost. So fucking difficult to find. So I would love to interview Powder P. I would love to interview Powder P. But he is difficult to find. So if anybody out there has a Powder P link, please, by all fucking means, let's link it up. Let's get Powder P on here. I also saw somebody saying that Bizzy's always in a dispute. Oh, I think Tommy, when apparently he's terrified to fly planes. So crazy thing, but I can tell you that I don't know that to be factual, but I remember when we booked Bizzy Bone back in the day, he was absolutely against there being connecting flights. It had to be a direct shot from point A to point B. The original flight pattern we had for him had a layover and a connection, and he wasn't about that life. Once he got on that fucking plane, the next time he got off it, he wanted that to be the end. So he could definitely be not into flying. So did Powder P ever have more than one verse? Not with Mo Thugs, not that I know of.
Yeah, but he had 2 albums.
He had 2 albums,
So
yeah,
it was-
but not with Mo Thug. Like I don't know. Joel's Cools wants to know, did Powder P ever have more than one verse? Not with Mo Thug, but yeah, as John just said, he had a couple albums.
Hey, I just found a new. It's not new, but it's from 2005. A Powder P track called Original, and it's by Kaylee, aka Lisa Main, but it's saying Original featuring Powder P, formerly of Mo Thugs. You could hear a sample of it on Amazon. I'm gonna check that out after the show. New old Powder P.
Jesus,
Man, did you ever listen to the Powder P album or the first
shit.
one? I don't blame you for the other one.
Kevin Stark says a good point. The Bud Smokers Only Part 2 has Powder P out there. I don't even
Oh
remember
yeah.
that. Yeah, but I guess he was on that.
Yep.
Kevin
Yeah.
Stars.
How come that one never came out?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, and we were hypothesizing that either Bud Smoker's Only Two, or what was the other song? There was another unreleased Mo Thug song. We thought one of those would have been like remastered and put on the Mo Thug's Greatest Hits that came out last year, but it didn't happen. It's a shame too. Can you imagine? Like that would have been a big selling point.
Oh my god.
What was the other one? Was it More Than Thugs 2? Or
if they would have fucking put any unreleased tracks from like the Mo Thug 1 or 2 era, even I think even Mo Thug 3 at this point, we're so hungry. Man, motherfuckers. I think we got a call, John. You want to take a call?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
always love calls.
You're on with Beyond the Harmony, Cecil West, John Lippy. Who do we have calling in?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey.
What's up, man? Who do we got calling in?
Hey, man. All right. Hey, this is Chris again. One
Chris,
question.
what's up, brother?
You know I'm down south. Hey, man. Y'all know anything about the Bizzy Bone and Mystical beef?
Oh,
I read about it.
Yeah, I remember that a little bit.
There was that video, yes, that BTNH fan vids came out yesterday, that last week, and it mentioned it.
Yeah,
and
I see that. And the old boy was linking up some shit. I heard him say Mystical a lot, but I didn't know what he was really talking about though.
Yeah,
I don't really know what the beef is. I mean, I assume it's gonna be like on some flow shit, right? Like, did Bizzy feel like I can't really say Mystical rap like Bone. I mean, I guess he rapped fast, but Mystical was like some whole other shit.
Yeah, man. Because I heard like, and they would always be like, y'all ain't no soldiers, you know. And I guess he was going at Master P and No Limit, you know. I'll always hear him reference something like that in his raps, like, you know, and and I think he wasn't never in, and old boy had reference, he wasn't never in none of the Master P features.
Yeah, that's true.
You saying Mystical wasn't he on Make 'Em Say and
but he's saying with the Bone.
No, Bizzy Bone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Hook It Up and Dead and Gone. Yeah, Bizzy Boy.
And Mo Thug
did
a little. They did some shows and a little bit of touring with No Limit, but of course that wouldn't have included Bizzy either. So yeah, Bizzy though, he's kind of always walked his own path a little bit. You know what I mean? Like just because everybody.
Yeah, and I like that. And even with the 3-6 Mafia thing, because I became a fan of 3-6 Mafia too, but I always felt like Bizzy wasn't the one that was gonna bury the hatchet. Bizzy always was the one who was gonna be like, nah, I'm not fucking with them. I'm not. Y'all can go do. If y'all want to get money, that's good. Go ahead. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep it. Like how he said that no adultery with Easy. He's not gonna go. And befriend somebody that that he was beefing with back in the day just for the likes of making money in the studio.
Yeah. How did you?
I didn't. I kind of always liked it.
How did you feel when they finally we were just talking I forget what episode we were talking about it on, John, but we were talking about actually I think it's one that you guys haven't heard yet. We just recorded and what we talk about is when the I Don't Give a Fuck video dropped, Little John, Mystical, and Crazy Bone. So there's Mystical and Crazy Bone together, but no Bizzy Bone. But 3-6 Mafia did a cameo in that video, and
they were on the video. Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
And they was representing hard, like showing, like, we here.
I like that.
That's what it looked like.
I
loved it though. I loved it.
I liked seeing.
Here's some of the lines. This is what Mystical said. He said, "I'm not that thug, and I'm not that ruggish, but I do pack bone." And then he went on to say, "Get out of this area. I'm gonna have to bury you. Mo Thug, I draw blood, whip that ass, leave your face down in the mud." And the song was "It Yearns" on Unpredictable.
So he set off the beef a little bit.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, it's funny too that he would diss Mo Thug, like, this one of the Bones, but what did Mo Thug do to offend anybody? It's and I've seen it happen a couple times where like people were taking shots at Mo Thugs, and I'm thinking, how did they get into the beef? But You never know.
Man, yeah, they was just such a man. Bone and Mo Thug was such a force, man. And either you loved them or I think people like hated them. I used to come to school, man, when I was in 10th, 11th grade almost, with my whole discography in my book sack. And people would, they would look at it and be like, man, that dude, that's whack. But let me see what you got there, though. It'd be like, man, that's like, bro, all right, let me see you flip through that again. I had the CD, the covers. That's back when you had the books, the CD books, and all that. So, I got all of it, mentality from all of them, man. And, I used to walk around with them. I walked around with that shit. Like, it was a Bible. Hey, man,
did you have the CD book where you could put the CD in one side and then the front cover on the other side?
Oh,
like the plastic pages,
like the books, like the
the booklet.
Books?
Yeah. Later on, they made them so like you could put the booklet on one side and then the CD on the other side. So you just didn't need the case. You could walk around with your Case Logic book, of all your CDs. Yeah.
Oh, all right, I got you.
Because a lot of CDs, if you didn't remember, like the Outkast CD, it was just like a picture on it of like a lady, and you didn't. Yeah. So like you didn't have the booklet. You just have to guess, and especially like the Outkast album would have had all those interludes. So if you didn't know the specific track you were looking for, that's where the booklet came in handy. But the Bone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Eternal was just like Eternal. You never knew what was on.
It was just a silver. It was just a silver platinum disc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. And man, I like, man. Yeah.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite Bone album that you had of all time?
Man, I gotta give it to Art of War.
Yeah.
Art of War.
Okay.
I gotta say Art of War trumps Eternal. But I'd have to put Creeping on the Come Up over Eternal. So Art of War be 1, Creeping on the Come Up to Eternal 3. Then so on and so forth and so forth, all that Resurrection to be next, then the one with one of my favorite songs, man. Y'all got me on the phone and I know him so much. Come on, man. The one when they shape like the pyramid on the CD cover, and it's like in the gold.
Bone Thugs?
No, Bone Thugs album.
There's a Bone
when they
Pyramid
sit at the
album.
microphone.
Oh yeah, Thug World Order.
They sitting. Thug World Order. That's it.
Yeah,
Thug World Order.
They got like their hands.
And it's
like.
Yeah, the track with Cleveland Rocks and all that on there. But it's one of those tracks on there that's my favorite song, man, on it. I can't think about it right now. I think it could be right before That's Not My Baby. That's not, damn, I can't think of the song. But, yeah, man, y'all. I'm a Bone
Was it
fan,
Home?
Man. No, not Home. Not Home.
See, what was before Not My Baby?
Now y'all see what we go through. We're on the spot all the time on this show. Now y'all see what it's like to be me and Johnny.
Yeah. Damn, man.
Money? Was it Money? Money.
No, not money. No. Hell no, not that one. I didn't like that video. I didn't like that commercial track.
What about us? Was it They Don't Really Care About Us?
No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one.
All right.
Not that one. Damn.
Y'all
that track
the whole album.
Cleveland is the city. If I Fall.
No, I know that one. Not that one.
All the Way. Pump.
All the way.
All the way.
All the
Look,
way.
Kevin Starks called it in the
fucking... All the way.
That was the jam.
Favorite goddamn track, man. Hey, that All the way he did it, because I heard Bizzy. I remember on the video or something, on the documentary, on the video, Bizzy was telling them, man, we need to rap with no hook. And everybody just come behind each other. And Flesh was like, why you want to do that? And Bizzy was like, man, that's how we need to do it. We need to start doing it like that. We ain't going to come with no hook. We can just go, bam, bam, bam. Everybody just come in. And I think they did it like that on All the Way.
Yeah. I love when they do that. That's my favorite, that's my favorite fucking format is when they don't have a format. They just do whatever they want.
Yeah, I just like when. And then I remember, like on Eternal, I like when they used to start before the other one finished.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it sounded like
yeah.
they used to come in. It sounded like they used to just jump on right at the end of the other, of the other one finishes, and you just run on the track like that. And I used to love.
Yeah.
I used to love that shit too.
Yeah, Everyday Thing was like that, where the verses, just as they're ending, the next guy comes in, and even bend over with thuggish ways all the time. Follow me down. Yeah, I love when they do that. They got to get back to doing that. And I remember I had a musician friend, and he said that was his favorite. He didn't like rap, but he was like, I like hearing Bone, especially when they come in after each other and finish each other's verses, and like they just keep it all blended.
And another thing, Bone. I think Bone is the originators of all what everybody's doing. I like these young guys. I like Young Thug. I like Lil Uzi Vert. I like all these young dudes. I like that music, but Bone is the original. I like Drake. I like all that stuff. But I think Bone are the originators of the ad lib.
Yeah.
The ad lib.
Yeah.
I think, man, with the ad
like
lib,
the way they do it now, you're saying like the
Bone was doing ad libs before people really knew what they were really doing. That's what I think. Bone was doing that stuff way before Bizzy Bone, and they were doing it so subtle. It was kind of subtle where you had to be paying attention, but it was ad libs when before ad libs were ad libs.
I think definitely, especially by today's standards, like Bone was doing a lot of like the ad libbing like that you hear right now. They are. I mean, but a lot of times people talk about Bone not getting the credit that they deserve, but I think that's unfair too. Like I think a lot of young artists do credit Bone. Wiz Khalifa, the ASAP team, like a lot of people do credit Bone for what they did. It's I think even the Migos did. I mean, at one point, Bone is legendary. It's crazy that their style didn't get the respect back then, and now their style. I mean, we can say today in 2019, judging the music today, that Bone was way ahead of their time. I mean, we all thought it as fans back then, but now we look at the music and it's like, wow, we didn't realize Bone was like 20 fucking years ahead of their time.
Man, it's like sometimes I listen to the radio today and I struggle listening to it. I'm like, I always find myself saying, well, dog, Crazy Bone could have been on that song, or Bizzy Bone could have been on that song.
Yeah.
Why they not? I'm always doing that. I'm always putting them on songs, and I'm like, man, sometimes as a Bones fan, as a diehard Bones fan, I think we just always want them to come out with that Mo murder flow and just kill people.
Yeah.
You just dying for that. You just want Bizzy Bone and them just to come out and just be like, forget this. We gonna go on all these cats in the game. All these, but then it's another side where you be like, no, as time progresses, it's gonna happen, and everything is gonna come, to the light. So I don't know. It's a struggle. It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle being a Bone fan because you know what's going on. You see it. I like Eminem. I like him. And then I listen to the Kill Shot. I listen to those, and I'm like, damn, Eminem's going hard. But then I come back and I say, well, damn, man, I don't know. Crazy Bone is a little different, and I give Crazy Bone a nod. And it's a close one. But
how did you feel about Crazy on the Rap God beat, the Eminem?
Man, oh man, I see. That's what I think. Yeah, I say Crazy. He showed his style, and he showed more dynamic. He showed a more dynamic flow.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about Crazy. That's what I think. The thing is with Crazy, he shows more of a dynamic flow, and you can't really copy him.
Yeah.
You don't really know what he's gonna do. You don't know when he's gonna stop it. You don't know when he's gonna sing it. You don't know, and they have so many patented words, or phrases. That's what I love about them. They have so many patented phrases that they can make a whole 4-minute song just saying their own phrases, you know. It don't even have to be nothing really made up or written.
Yeah, like verse 2 on Thug Mentality. I think it was all hook, like all.
Yeah,
all
he can do.
lines.
Yeah, they can do that all day. They can do that all day if they wanted to. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, man, you know, and so, hey, man, I'm gonna let y'all go. I don't want to be. I can talk forever about this stuff. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna let somebody else get on, man.
Hey, we appreciate you calling in tonight, man. I always love talking Bone with the fans, so make sure you call in every time we do a live. We appreciate you, brother. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man.
You know, there's a topic that I haven't heard brought up lately, but people used to talk about this all the time years ago, and that is, what if Bone came out with a double CD called Thugs and Harmony, and disc 1 is Thugs, disc 2 is Harmony, so it satisfies all the fans. So disc 1 is just all the thuggish ruggish Bone, and then disc 2 would be the softer type, new wavesy kind of tracks. And I think if they did that, then I think it would satisfy everybody.
I see fans right now. 1985 Gemini says Crazy is live right now on Periscope. Hey, you guys, go to Crazy's Periscope and tell him you want him to call in to Beyond the Harmony and drop this guy the number, okay? Go to Crazy Bone's fucking Periscope and say Beyond the Harmony's live right now. We want you to call in. I'll chop it up with Crazy Bone right now if y'all get him to call in. It's funny, something I wanted to bring up to you, John, and I mean that, by the way. Y'all get Crazy Bone on this motherfucker, I'll go again for y'all right now, off the cuff with every Crazy Bone question. John, do you of course remember "Wanna Be a Baller" by Little Troy? Do you remember Lil Will in that track? And he says, "I'm down with Mo Thugs, Mo Thug in the Bone. You know what's going down." Do you remember hearing that shout out and us talking, you know, to Chris just now provoked that thought in my mind. I was like, oh shit, like Bone's been getting love from the South. What did you think when you heard that shout out and "Want to Be a Baller"?
Yeah, I heard it, and I remember you asking me about it like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we used to do these shows before Beyond the Harmony. And I remember just hearing it and just thinking, well, cool. Are they going to get any Mo Thug artists on their album, or are they going to be on a Mo Thug album? I was just like, where's the music? That's cool for the shout out, but let me hear some songs.
Yeah.
That's about all I thought about it. And I also thought, like, how did Mo Thug connect up with Little Troy?
That's what I loved. I love that it showed the affiliation. You know, I love that it showed the affiliation between them. I think we got a caller. Let's bring a caller in. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have calling in?
Hey, yo, this is Anthony Lee from Winston-Salem.
What's up, brother? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, man. First of all, I just want to say I'm glad I found y'all show, man. Forever, I've been preaching to the By Myself choir about how Bone Thugs been the greatest. And, you know, my friends be like, man, yeah, they cool, but what about Nas? And I'm like, look, man, it's about Bone. But
you right.
I just wanted to call in.
Yeah, well, you know, I can't even listen to Nas after Bone, because, like, when Chris was describing Crazy Bone's versatility and, like, the way he composes a verse, there's so much variety going on. And then when you go back to East Coast and it's just kind of like repetitive monotone over a loop beat, it's like, man, I just tasted a full course meal with extra condiments on it with Bone, and then just going to anything else is just, it's like, okay. It's like going to fast food after being in a 5-star restaurant. But Nas is good. I'm not knocking Nas though. You know what I'm saying? Nas is a great rapper. But...
I agree. When I was a little 13-year-old kid, I bought the Dub Shack CD. My friend bought the first Bone album, The Creeping on the Come Up, and he didn't like it because it only had 5 songs on it. And we did that trade. And from that day forth, it's been all about Bone for me. Mo Thug, the original 1 and 2. I listen to that Still Waters. I've been listening to it nonstop. Just Tombstone and Sin going back to back. Yeah. I think that's one of the greatest albums ever too. Man, I just appreciate, you know, being able to listen to all your interviews about Bone, because for the longest I just kind of felt like I knew it was people out there, you know what I'm saying? You know, like a cult following, but you know, here where I'm at,
Yeah.
I'm the one talking about Bone, and everybody try to sway me towards other people, and then I tell my friends, yo, all these guys coming out now sounding like Bone, you know?
Oh yeah. It's a fact. I mean, we see it. You know, when Bone was coming up, and of course we would, as Bone fans, all debate 3-6 Mafia, Twista, Do or Die. You know, that was the debate, and we were all just trying to debate who's the speed thing, not realizing like the harmony piece and the speed is what would become like. I mean, that is the thing now. That's all they really care about is like that those bone cadences. Lot of Bone clones. It's like Bone knew it was coming. I loved your story where you got the Creeping on a Come Up CD. Imagine if you wouldn't have made that trade, you know, and you would have never heard that Creeping on a Come Up CD. It's crazy when I always hear people's first experience with Bone and what hooked them. And it is like it's a love affair when you first hear them, because you know you either hear people and they're like, I immediately fell in love with that Bone sound, or people just didn't understand it. So it sounds like your boy didn't get it, and you must have just heard that, and it was just a life changer.
Well, here's something.
No Surrender, like that was on loop. I was like 12. I probably shouldn't have been listening to, you know, all that was in that, but the song was just so amazing to me, and I was just like, wow, listen to these dudes. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy that this dawned on me now, and it's never occurred to me, but the Dove Shack, you said that was the album you had originally, and the Dove Shack is kind of like the original Mo Thugs, because they were an offshoot of Warren G.
Right.
So you traded basically the West Coast Mo Thugs for the future Bone Thugs, which is kind of. Did you have a chance to listen to that album at all? Because I was a huge like G-Funk era fan. Did you have the Dove Shack album?
Mean, you know,
okay.
I have Spotify, so I went back and re-listened, and I like them. I mean, they cool, you know. They're cool,
but it's good.
I mean, they not Bone or anything, but
right.
You know, they were a cool little group.
You got the win. You got the win out of that one. Even though I assume that the album that you got was This Is the Shack by the Dove Shack, and that was that was a big ass album. So you know the trade. He definitely got all the tracks he wanted to get, but you got the quality, because where the fuck is the Dove Shack today? Nowhere.
Right.
So yeah, man. Well, we want to thank you for calling in, brother. I appreciate you calling in and you listening. And as long as we got people like you listening, we're gonna keep putting content out like this all the time.
Right. Yeah. I'm a first time caller too, man. I've been posting in your chat because I really would like for someone to get in touch with someone that's kind of Tombstone, because I feel like his flow, like I actually I ordered Bone's the Bone Enterprise album off of eBay a long time ago, and the person didn't have it, but they sent me a copy of Still Waters.
Damn.
And I kind of listened to it one time. And didn't really think too much about it. And just recently, after I think one of the first interviews you did with Sin, I went back on YouTube and found it and kind of listened to it.
Yeah.
Taking it in, because I'm about 38 now. I'm about to turn 38, and it's like I'm listening to it now, and like the album, it's so like they flow together. The way they mess was so amazing that, you know. And then I go back and listen to a lot of Tombstone verses on the old Mo Thug stuff, and like to me, it's just some of the greatest rap I've ever heard. Like the way he command the beat, you know. And I guess I think it'd be special to try to, you know, find out more about, you know, how he was before he was murdered. So yeah. But anyway,
it was special getting to talk to Sin and getting to talk to Romeo Antonio about creating, you know, the Still Waters project. Just because that album is so good, and we still got a third part of that interview with Sin that we are getting ready to drop. So, but nah, I agree. It would be great to be able to talk to somebody, in the situation. Something
Well, we did. We did, and it hasn't come out yet because Romeo spoke at length about Tombstone.
Yeah.
And how much he was admired him and thought he was one of the greatest rappers he had ever seen in his life. And we just haven't had Romeo hasn't approved the cuts yet. So
just so
if anybody
y'all
could
know,
reach out to Romeo.
Oh, just so everybody knows, I've been talking to Romeo, and we are very, very close to finally part 2 of Romeo's interview dropping. So we are closer than ever, guys. So you guys might get a chance to hear what John is talking about. We want to thank you for calling in tonight, man, and speaking with us. And, we're going to keep doing these live things, so make sure you give us a call every time you get the opportunity.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Take care.
All right, man.
Yeah. If you guys are trying to call in before we wrap up, the number is 1-605-562-0444. The show ID tonight is 145870. I see some people saying that they're trying to call from out of the country. If that is not a local number for you, you can go to the website callin, CALLIN, callin.beyondtheharmony.com. Get your local number. The show ID is the same, and give us a call. People are saying that Crazy Bone's on Periscope, but he's not really answering any real questions. That's cool. We are answering real questions over here on Beyond the fucking Harmony, bro. Let me just take a look. I saw the fans were talking about Bone and Drake. Somebody said that not to mention them in the same sentence. I would actually love to hear a Bone and Drake collaboration. I think Drake's a great artist. He gets knocked a lot because he's soft in R&B, but the dude can rap, and the dude can sing, and I think that's all the components we really need for a great song. I think he would make a great song.
Regarding Drake,
he'd make a great song.
Did Drake ever? I mean, did Drake? I don't know much about Drake. I mean, I've seen the songs with Lil Wayne and whatever, and I've always heard people dissing him. But I always wondered, like, did he ever try to claim that he's somebody he's not? Because he always seemed like from the start as like an industry cat.
Yeah, he hangs with he kind of does the rap thing, and of course he's with Lil Wayne and shit. So he's with some gangsters, and he runs with kind of a hard team in Toronto. But I think he catches a lot of flack because he was on that Disney Degrassi show before he was like Drake the singer. So I think that's kind of what he catches shit for. I think we got another call. Let me see. Go ahead, John.
I never felt like with Drake. I always felt like the argument didn't apply to him because I never felt like he presented himself as a tough guy. Like he always just seemed like a singer that also raps. But like Usher. Like would anybody knock Usher? It's not like Usher's trying to front like he's some tough guy. So that's how I always took Drake, and I never understood why he was always attacked. I never felt like he was in the same arena.
Yeah. Somebody attacked Chris Brown. There's a fucking singer that acts tough that isn't. Somebody attacked Chris Brown or something. I just want to shout out Joel's Cools as well, who did the super chat. You guys doing the super chat helps support the show. He just was our most recent super chat. If you haven't hit the super chat yet, you guys can hit it right in that chat. It's a little $, and any amount helps keep the show going. So shout out to all our super chat users tonight. I've seen a lot of people asking. I've been fucking dancing around this shit. This is like the third time I've seen somebody in the chat ask what we think of carbon monoxide.
Yeah, and I noticed that you were avoiding it, so I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, listen. I don't bullshit on this show, and I'm not gonna start now. I love Bizzy Bone. I love Blaze. I even am down with them beefing if the beef makes sense. I didn't love Carbon Monoxide. I don't think it's a bad song. I just don't think that it is. Well, first of all, I feel like it came at a weird time in the beef. I thought the beef kind of seemed like it ended, like Lazy Bone squashed it. But like we've talked about on this show, like Bizzy walks his own path, so he might have felt differently about it, which is cool. But I just didn't feel like it just wasn't like what I thought that Bizzy Bone could do. Like Bizzy Bone can snap on a track, bro. There was that really long intro, and the intro it had some comedy value for me and shit, but it was just like, it was really long, and then like Bizzy was cool, and Blaze did a great job on it. Blaze always like samples the elements of like, you know, old Bone. So he had some like he had a little sample in there from the Eternal album. I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head now. So I love what Blaze does, but I just felt like the song was just all right. It's not a bad song. It's just like I'm not gonna freak the fuck out about it. I hear that they're getting ready to drop a second track, second Bizzy Bone Blaze track, and I believe this one's aimed at the Migos as well. And you know, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for whatever he does. But you know, if people are looking for my true feelings on it, I liked it. I've played it more than once, but I'm not freaking out about it. It's not stand out to me. So I hope that doesn't crush my relationship with Blaze or with Bizzy or with any of our fans. But I gotta keep it 1,000,000%, and that's just how I felt about it.
I thought it was it was a good rap diss track, and lyrically it was just really good. It was like, intricate. Yeah, like you can't knock it. Bizzy's verses were dope, and they were lacerating. He was going at them, and there was cool metaphors and similes, and all the elements of a good song were there. Yeah. Bizzy had the bars. The beat was good. Like everything was cool. It just like you said, it's you're not pulling your hair out, but it's not a bad song.
It's just all right.
It's kind of like Still No Surrender, right? It's a good song, but No Surrender, the original No Surrender, made you want to jump out of a car and commit crimes. Still No Surrender, you're like, hey, it's Still No Surrender. It's a good song, but you're not like pulling your hair out.
All right.
But you're still like, hey, I really like Still No Surrender, but it's not No Surrender. And so Carbon Monoxide, I'm like, wow, it's got all the elements of a good song, but you know, I don't know.
This is all right.
I like it, but I'm not just like you. I'm not like losing my mind. I'm not calling everybody in my my phone book, you know, telling them to go listen to Carbon Monoxide.
I was really excited. Like when it started and the intro started, I was like really fucking excited, bro. Like the intro just kind of went on longer than I wanted, and I was like, all right, this is really leading up to fucking something wild, and it just. That may be what it is. I think that intro was so much lead up that it's like it had to be like a fucking, I don't know, just cosmic level grand slam, and it just wasn't. And I think that, you know, some of that may have been that long build up of the intro. I don't know, but it's a good song. Either
this
way.
Is what it is. This is what it is. When I was listening to Carbon Monoxide, and I wonder if any of you guys out there felt this way, I kept waiting for Bizzy to go into that mode like he was on Rap City, the Basement, when he had the red Scully on, and he starts the verse kind of slow, and then like he's like the energy, the spirit just goes within him, and then he just starts like just killing the mic. You know the freestyle I'm talking about, right?
Handle my bone,
like,
I stand on my own.
Yeah, and I was just waiting for that spirit to enter him, because I liked how it gradually entered into him in that performance, and I was thinking that Carbon Monoxide was going to build towards that, and then like so I was on a nice walk. It was a beautiful day. I'm listening to the song for the first time, and like my mind was just like, all right, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's going to turn into beast mode Bizzy, and he was lyrically, but it was it just, I don't know. But you know what? I bet you it's going to grow on us, just like all the other Bone stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I
don't
dislike it. You know what I mean? I'm not hating on it at all, and believe me, if I didn't like the fucking song and I hated it, I'd just tell y'all I think the fucking song is trash. So you know, I'm not pulling any punches. I like the song. It's cool. It's in my current rotation. I'm not freaking the fuck out about it. But it made me excited for, you know, the what's to come. It also made me excited for this too. It made me appreciate Blaze even more. Like Blaze really understands Bizzy Bone. He understands Bone, man. I hope that Blaze is around with Bizzy for a long time, because it did at least, like, not that I didn't know this, it was a reconfirmation about how much Blaze understands Bone. So you know, he gets it. You know, I'm bitching how long that intro is, but like, what's my favorite thing about Bone? Those fucking intros. Like, Blaze fucking gets it. I think we might have another call. We're going to wrap up here soon, guys, but if you want to call in before we do, it's 1-605-562-0444. Our show ID is 145870. If you're outside of the United States, you can go to callin.beyondtheharmony.com and get your local number to call us. Let me see if I got somebody on here. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have calling in? Oh shit. All right.
Beyond the Harmony.
All right, let's see what we got here. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have calling in? Dead air. Dope. All right, we had an ass whooping on one line and dead air on the other line. So
I want to ask you about this real quick.
Ask me.
In the comments we had stuff about Sugar Free mentioned.
Did
I ever call you and tell you about that Sugar Free performance in the movie The East Siders by Snoop Dogg and the East Siders? They're in jail.
I want to say no, but I'm feeling like it's a yes. Like I feel like maybe that's a yes, because as soon as you started saying that, it felt familiar.
So he's doing the drum beat on the table. Boom, 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 boom. I want to go home, and then he busts this like really smooth verse. And it was at the time when it came out. We were talking about calling everybody in your phone book. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Calling everybody. I guess I didn't hit you up on ICQ or AOL Instant Messenger back then. But check it out. Look up Sugar Free East Siders movie freestyle or something. It's him. He's on a table. He's making the beat with his hands. And his verse, when he comes in, I don't even remember the words, but I just remember how smooth it was. So I really recommend that. And Sugar Free's kind of got a little bit of ties to Bone. I think Sugar Free did a track. Well, he was on the that Southwest Riders CD by E40 that had Cop Stories by Graveyard Shift. And Sugar Free's always. Were you ever a Sugar Free fan? Fuck with your partner.
I mean, not really. Like I didn't dislike Sugar Free or anything. Not really. Not really.
That's cool. Well, I seen Spice One is doing more stuff with Crazy Bone. Some new video came out today of Spice One speaking on Bone, the Migos, Whack 100 or whatever that channel is.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
So it's nice to see Spice One doing it, because Crazy was a big fan of Spice One. Did you ever hear the track? It's called Dude Sings the Blues. It was on the America's Nightmare album by Spice One. And it came out right when Bone came out, and Spice One's rapping fast, tongue twisting. It's kind of has like the Creeping on a Come Up vibe to it. And I remember when I got it, I was thinking, how did Spice One have the time to bite Bone style? Because the album came out so close to Creeping on a Come Up. And to this day, I've been trying to figure out, like, how did Spice One know about the style right as Bone came out?
Yeah. Huh. No, I haven't. Not.
It was Outkast. Did Players Ball? That was like the first Outkast single. Did that come out before or after Bone? Because they kind of had a fast style as well at the beginning. Well, yeah. Remember?
Oh, like you're saying the Outkast track.
Well, yeah, Players Ball by Outkast. That was the first single Outkast ever came out with, to my knowledge. And I remember I had that.
I mean, that shit's old as fuck. That Players Ball came out in fucking 93.
Okay, so when I got Players Ball, I was like, wow, these guys rap pretty fast. They're doing, it's not like tongue twisting, but they kind of had like a staccato kind of way of crafting their verses. And, I don't know. I wonder how they independently did it in Atlanta.
I've always been surprised that, like, there's no Bone, Outkast, or at least, like, I mean, maybe not like Bone and Outkast, but like, I'm surprised that we don't have like Lazy Bone and Big Boy
Yeah.
Like literally what I just said feels like it could have happened easily. Like maybe not like Andre and Bizzy Bone, but like Big Boy and like Lazy Bone. I'm surprised like this has never fucking happened.
Yeah. I could see Andre getting with Crazy on a track. And
love that.
Big Boy and Lazy would be dope. Although maybe, did Bone never showed enough love for cars, except Wishbone and his motorcycle and Candy Paint. I think if they talked about Candy Paint a little bit more often, maybe Big Boy would have gave him a call.
Well, we've heard on here that Outkast almost signed with Mo Thug, so there might have been something there, and maybe they felt some type of way. Although it's what we know about Mo Thug, that's still the best thing that happened to them is that didn't happen.
As many albums as Outkast had, they didn't do that many collabos. I mean, they had Raekwon on Skewed on the Barbie. Did they ever work with No Limit? Because they're in the South, No Limit's in a different state, but they're claiming it. And Outkast did do stuff with 8Ball and MJG, and like UGK. Did UGK and Outkast ever?
Oh yes.
So
it's just God, UGK and fucking Jesus. Are you?
Oh, that was the international anthem.
Oh my God, the remix. Because the original one is UGK and 3-6, which I also love. And 3-6 is in the video for the remix, the one with UGK and Outkast. But motherfucker, is that one of my favorite songs of all time. On Andre's verse, to set it off, Andre's verse is so much different than everybody else's, and then fucking Pimp C comes in and he's just like, all right, Andre's talking about how much he loves this girl, and he's gonna drop all his hoes. Pimp C, as soon as his verse drops in, he's just like, never fuck a bitch without a rubber. He's just fucking pimp knowledge out the gate, bro. I love that song. If you haven't listened to that song in a while, bro, you want to go back. Both versions are good. The one with 3-6 is great too, but the UGK Outkast one is amazing. Kevin Stark says he's going to call in the next live. Kevin Starks, you can call in on this live right now and talk that bone shit with us before we wrap up. If anybody else wants to, it's 1-605-562-0444. The show ID is 145870. Shout out to everybody that's done the super chat tonight. Shout out to everybody that called in. Talked to Mo Hart, who was our guest earlier this evening. It was a great interview. It's been a great episode, Johnny.
Yeah, and I never asked you on the air, and I wanted to bring this up to Sin, and I forgot to. But I wanted to know, and this goes to the chat also, did you get a chance to listen to the Underground Soldier? The Graveyard Soldiers album, the group that's like like the best Bone clone, in my opinion, of all time? Because
I haven't listened to like all of it, but yeah, I checked it out.
You know what that album did for me is it cured me of my need for Creeping on a Come Up era Bone, because I've been suffering from that. Like I've been wanting the eternal Creeping on a Come Up era. Once I listened to Underground Graveyard Soldiers, I was cured. I was completely cured of the need. It was satisfied. It was fulfilled. So if any of you guys are stuck in 93, 94, 95, check out the Graveyard Soldiers. They imitated Bone so well.
Or some shit too.
Yeah, somewhere or Memphis or somewhere. And they did a good job. I don't know if they have other albums, but that particular one, it's like a blue album cover. If I remember correctly, it's almost like a rip off of Still Waters.
Yeah,
they just cloned it to the T. So we've always also been on the quest to find the ultimate Bone clone. And I think like those guys, they did it. They got that particular era down pat. So Graveyard Soldiers, if you never heard of it. And Kevin Starks wants to know a list of some of our upcoming guests that we might have.
Oh man, that's like it's like asking for like super top secret information, Kevin Starks. I don't know if I can give that to you. We're rounding it up, guys. We're actually coming in to the end of this season. We probably have 2 interviews left this season. I'll tell you one that is coming up is Cody Hilliard. Cody is the artist he's done a countless amount of Lazy Bone and Mo Thug projects. He also, I would say that one of his most notable pieces is he made the Harmony House logo. So he's responsible for making the Harmony House logo. Pretty much anything that you've seen come out from Lazy in a while. He did the Mo Thugs best of that actually got this show started. He just did the Annihilation work. He's done shit for Crazy. He's done, he did Just One More Hit, the Lyrical Paraphernalia cover. He did some Chasing the Devil mock-ups that didn't get used. The Harmony House logo, like I said. He did the Smoke With Me cover, Annihilation. He did Let Me Go, Me Go, #1 on SoundCloud. He did the Lazy Bone collection. He did a bunch of the Lazy Gear merch. So he is pretty pivotal. He's pretty pivotal. He's worked with a lot of Mo Thugs as well. Soulja Boy, Thin C, Thug Queen, Sin, Mo Hart, who we just had on here. So he's an upcoming guest. And then I have an open slot as well. I have an open slot for a guest that there's a couple in talks, and but I haven't tied one down. And we have an episode that we're going to premiere next week that is actually John, myself, and Ty Wise from The Facts Don't Lie. And it's the three of us discussing the most important Bone song every year for 25 years. So what I mean by that is we take it from 1993 all the way up to 2018, and we pick the most important song every year. So that's going to actually premiere next Thursday. This is your episode for this week. So that's going to happen, and then we'll premiere some more of the episodes that we have still in the can. There's a lot of shit you guys haven't heard from this season, and then we'll have one more interview that I haven't done, and then we're going to do a season finale with you guys live. But that's way down the road. There's a lot of shit in the can. There's a lot of stuff coming. And Joelle's Cools wants to know, what about Thug Queen? We would love to have Thug Queen on the show. I've reached out to her a few times. I tell you guys all the time, the best thing that you can do is exactly what you guys did to Crazy Bone tonight. If you want to hear them on the show, go to their social media, their Instagram, their Twitter, their Facebook, and say, hey, we want to hear you on Beyond the Harmony. Because that helps so much when we reach out. So I would love to have Thug Queen be on here. We've reached out, but we haven't been able to secure anything yet. So,
yeah, and as Cecil just said that we're nearing the end of the interviews. Make no mistake, there's so many Thug Thursdays still coming from part 2s of the interviews that we did, part 3s. Someday the rest of the Romeo interview is going to come out. That's another 7 Thug Thursdays right there, maybe Mondays or some other day.
Yeah.
There's plenty of material left. There's so many things, and tonight one of the callers called in discussing that he wanted to hear more about Tombstone, and if those Romeo things come out, I vividly remember Romeo talking at length about Tombstone. So you have that to look forward to if we ever could get that one out. And this episode that's coming out next Thursday is a thing that I was excited to do, and we went like 3 hours on it. So I don't know how Cecil's going to break that up, but it's definitely going to be a cool trip down memory lane for you guys, going through 93 all the way up to 2018. And we even touch on 2019, trying to find the best Bone song per year, or the most important Bone song per year. So that'll be something for you guys to reminisce through, flashback, things like that. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys feel about it.
No, there's a lot of episodes left to come. This, of course, is one solid episode, not broken up. But us discussing the 25 years, that's 3 episodes. We still have a whole nother episode of Sin left. We still got another Diego Black left. We got 2 episodes of Demiza left. So there's quite a bit there. Plus, like I said, we're real close. I hadn't even really talked to John about this, so you guys are hearing this too, but I've been chopping it up a lot with Romeo. And Romeo and Beyond the Harmony are working to get the clearance. It's just such a big interview. It's almost overwhelming. And he basically said exactly what I said. He's like, we talked for so long that it was just kind of like 2 guys chopping it up. And you know, I kind of lost track of what we were saying, and he's like, you know, I'm so precise and articulate that I don't want to just, you know, put me just mumbling bullshit out there, which I can understand. I feel like me and John get on here and just mumble bullshit sometimes. We're talking so long, so I can understand that, but we are working together to get clearance, and if I get clearance on those, okay, they will not count towards your season 2. They just count as extras from season 1, and I'll drop those on different days than Thursdays. So if we get Romeo clearance, there's a lot of Romeo episodes coming, and that'll make a lot of our Graveyard Shift fans happy. I see 1985 Gemini asking about giveaways. Yeah, so we're sitting at like 2,400 subscribers. I know I promised a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. There is really not a great reason except that my recording situation, as far as recording video, is just not great, so I haven't had an opportunity to record it. It's an excellent giveaway though, and you know, I will be doing that soon. We didn't forget about the giveaways. We're still doing our 2,000, and of course we're going to do a 3,000 as well. And Johnny, I see Brother Clay is in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, Brother Clay in the building.
Always some star power in this chat, bro. Brother Clay right now. Archie's in this chat a lot. Demizo was in this chat a few weeks ago. Diego Black's been in this chat. A lot of people end up in this chat, man. If you're a Bone fan, this is where you want to be when we're dropping episodes.
Yeah. And also, in addition to all the content that we're doing, always be on the lookout for your Bone question of the day. Those will be coming out more frequent over the next couple weeks. So we also have that going. I also want to make a correction. When I said Princess Leia's mom, it wasn't Elizabeth Taylor. It was Debbie Reynolds. So I had that incorrect. So I want to make that correction. And also, in addition to the questions of the day, I've written scripts for a bunch of other videos that are a whole different format that we haven't done yet. I don't want to give anything away, but I have like, I think 8 scripts. I'm just trying to figure out how I could do these in a good amount of time that won't take an entire weekend to shoot. I think they'll be cool for you guys. I think you'll enjoy them.
I got like
and
5
they're thought-provoking
too. I got like 5 videos too, bro, that I'm like, these are great videos. I just don't have time. You know what most of them are, and I'm not going to give them away, but man, I got like 5 videos I just got to sit down and edit. It's a lot of work. Beyond the Harmony is a lot of work. I can't stress it enough. Like this somehow went from a hobby to at least a part-time job. But I love doing it. I love sitting down with the fans. The live has become my favorite thing. I still like to you know, I still like to connect with the guests, get my Jim Rome on, but you know, this live and being with you guys in the moment, that's become like my favorite thing, I think. And there's some more lives to come. There's this live, it's crazy. Guests that have been on previously are like, bro, I want to come do that live thing. Like now I'm getting the reach outs where they're like, let me come do this live. So you guys really helped start something new that I think is going to be the lifeblood of this show later on, is going to be this live segment we're doing right now.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's evolving towards this over time. Everything will be an evolution, a blend. And also those videos that Cecil's talking about, I know what they are. And if they come out the way I envision, they may be some of the best things that we've ever put out. So there's those, the giveaways, and Cecil's in a geographically challenged situation with weather and whatnot. So we got to work around planet Earth.
It makes it a
when
bitch.
It comes to, yeah.
It's real cold where I'm at. I just want to point out, so I tried to do remember I told you I was doing the card, John?
Yeah.
If you guys, so I just figured out how this happens. I wish we would have done this during Mo Hart, but if you touch your screen, okay, whether you're on a computer or you're on the phone, if you touch this screen and it brings up the pause and everything button, you'll also see a little circle with an eye, and if you touch on that, it's going to give you the option to vote in tonight's live question of the day. I've been trying to figure out how this happens. I just figured it out. But if you touch on that little eye, it's going to ask you what your favorite Mo Thug feature album is, whether it's Trials or Tribulations or the Underground or the Underland rather by the Night Riders. So if you guys all want to vote in that, I wish I would have figured this out sooner. That they don't make that like real. They should make that a more obvious thing. But if you touch on your screen, like I said, you'll see a bunch of options, pause and a skip, and one of them is an eye and a circle, and you can vote in that vote. So get your fucking vote in. Do you see that, Johnny? Can you?
I'm on a computer. You're saying I could do this on a computer?
You can do it on a computer as well. You can do it on your cell phone. I'm looking at it on both. If you just put your mouse over the actual video, and when the controls come up to pause and stuff, in the top right corner you'll see a little eye in a circle.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and you'll be able to vote, and you guys can also do that right on your phone. So everybody get your vote in, and hopefully this is something that we wanted to try tonight in the live show. We had no idea how it works, and that seems to be how you do it.
Describe it on how it is on I found it on the PC, and that's really awesome. Maybe this is how we could end up doing the trivia show that has been requested a couple of times, is figure out a way to leverage this technology to turn this into a trivia. I'm really looking forward to figuring out how we could do the trivia, because I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is cool. I voted. I see Trials and Tribulations at 100. But could you give those instructions real quick one more time for the iPhone? If you know, actually, you probably don't have an iPhone.
I don't have an iPhone. On my Android, all I had to do was touch on the screen like I was gonna pause the video, but instead of pushing pause, I just touched in the middle. I actually touched on Mo Hart's face, and it brought up all kinds of controls. And in the top right corner there was an eye with a circle that gave me the chance to vote. So top right info button. I see a couple people asking, what is the Underland? The Underland is the Night Riders album, and of course we know that Mo Hart was a member of the Night Riders, so Mo Hart featured on 2 big group albums, excluding of course the Mo Thug albums themselves. And I see someone asking, what's up with Sons of Sinclair? Darius Haygood wants to know, what's up with the Sons of Sinclair movie? I wish we could answer that for you, bro. I have no fucking idea. That's like a pretty common question.
If Romeo gets on again, he seemed to have a hand not in Sons of St. Clair, but he had like a sequel or some kind of a Netflix series or something that he wanted to, or Sons of St. Clair, the other side of the story or something.
Yeah, so he wants it on everybody. So this first chapter was Crazy and Busy, and what his plan was Sons of St. Clair, and then the next chapter would follow like Lazy Bone, and then Flash, and so hopefully we get him back on so we can see what the status of that is. I really want to see that movie, bro. It looks so good. Like I know that some people just strayed away because it's kind of new waves connected, but I thought that documentary looked great.
Yeah, and also there's something else that was recorded. I don't remember what DeMizza said, but there was a video, and I asked him about it, but I don't remember the answer. There was a video. It's of DeMizza, Crazy Bone, and Steve Lobel, and they're hanging out, and they're talking about that they were shooting some kind of a movie. It was called like the Bone Thugs movie, and this is in 2014. This is before Chasing the Devil came out. So I wonder if anything was shot for it. Who shot it? Is that what eventually became Sons of St. Clair? So there's that, in addition to that other movie I mentioned earlier in the show. So somebody was shooting something around the DeMizza, Steve Lobel era time, leading up to Chasing the Devil. And I think that's also around the time like the Quick Fix started. So I think maybe they just had too many things going, and but there was some kind of movie.
It's always like
DeMizza and Lobel.
Too many things going on, Always like too many, and we miss out on some things. But
real quick, I see 1985 Jim and I brought up the New Edition thing. I've been meaning to see the New Edition movie, so now I know it's 5 parts. So now I know what I'm investing into. I've been doing research for a video I'm going to put out here for Beyond the Harmony. I've been watching a lot of New Edition, reliving a lot of that old stuff, and I found out, I didn't know about this, but in 2017, Belle Biv DeVoe put out an entire album. It wasn't just a single. And I checked out the music video called Run, and it has like that that 90s era vibe to it. So if you were a Belle Biv DeVoe fan, I know DeVoe has connections, I guess, it seems like a lot of guys in Cleveland knew DeVoe. Just know that in 2017, Belle Biv DeVoe dropped an album. I really like the single. I'm going to listen to the whole album on Friday on my way to work. So if you guys are BBD fans, check that one out.
Kevin Starks wants to know what we think of Brand New Everything from, looks like Chasing the Devil.
So let me start with that one. Brand New Everything, I like when they actually are rapping, but like the beat, there's like a snare or part of the drum hits too hard into the mic where it kind of injures my eardrum. But I like the song. It kind of reminds me of the Beatles. Like when I hear it, I think of Paul McCartney and I think of the Beatles. I don't know why, but that's what I think of. And it felt like unmastered. There was something about it, like the EQs just weren't right, but I love the concept. And, how's this? Before we did this show, I used to tell Cecil all the time, I used to say, hey, man, I need a brand new everything. Wasn't I always saying
Yeah.
we need a brand new? I was always saying brand new everything. So the title brand new everything became part of my vocabulary, but not just something to say, but really mean, as in, I guess at the time I was letting go of the past and creating a brand new everything, not just one thing, but a brand new everything. I love what the song embodies. I love the meaning behind it. And I was going through the same thing at the time. And that New Waves became that brand new everything. I need a brand new everything. So I like it. I don't know how you felt about it, Cecil, but that was like the prequel to New Waves, the two guys getting down.
I've never listened to Chasing the Devil.
Well, you're missing out, man. I've been pushing Chasing the Devil. I've been pushing it on Cecil for 3 years. Like, I think once a month I'm like, yo, did you listen to Chasing the Devil yet, bro? You're missing out. You're missing out on a great conceptual album, the evolution of Crazy Bone, his inner thoughts, the battle against the devil. And not only that, Chasing Nightmares. Holy cow, man. Like, I used to be in the 90s. I was a rapper. I had fans.
I can't get into it, bro.
You got to try it.
I've tried. It's not, I'm not telling you I haven't tried. I've tried. I've tried a bunch.
Well, actually, you know what? I can see why you wouldn't like it.
I'm gonna fucking. I have a great Chasing the Devil video that I'm doing on the cover itself. I do a very, very like specific breakdown of the Chasing the Devil cover. So you guys be on the lookout for that. That should actually be soon. But no, I've tried to listen to it. I mean, it's played. Let me tell you this. I've never watched a fucking Star Wars movie either, and I can always tell John like the basics of Star Wars, okay? Because somehow it's like been in the background a bunch, so I know the basics of the Star Wars shit, even though I haven't listened to it, and I know the basics of Chasing the Devil because it's played a bunch in the background. But man, it didn't grab my soul. It doesn't grab my soul. Nobody can like point out to. Like, I mean, what's the big song? Cloudy?
Cloudy's the single. To me...
Well, what the fuck?
I think everybody liked Like Fire the most. Most people liked Like Fire the most, I think. I think that was, like, the fan favorite. My favorite was Can't Walk Away. I love that one.
Yeah, I heard that.
The track, the second to last one on the album, Ride With Me, was really commercial, and that guy's voice was cool. Ride With Me. That could have been, like, radio friendly. The song with Kane is really good, man. A Wise Fool. So, and there's a music video for that one as well. Chasing Nightmares has a music video, and Crazy's verse. If you've heard Chasing Nightmares and you're just like, whatever, go back and listen to it. The message is so deep. And in fact, it's a message that I tried to do as well. When I realized I was a rapper in the 90s and I had fans and I had negative messages in my music. And as I grew older and I looked back and I saw how I influenced people's lives, I thought, man, I wish I would have said something good. And that's like the whole concept behind Chasing Nightmare, or It Was a Nightmare, is that Crazy's realizing that he was feeding people, some negative information that didn't help them grow. What if he had done something positive? But not only that, though, the lyrical intricacy and the delivery is remarkable on that song. So check out that song, man. He kills that track.
Okay, but okay. How good is this album really though? Okay, you got four Crazy Bone albums, like actual albums, right? If we're not counting like, you know, Leatherface and all that shit, right? So Thug Mentality 99, Thug on the Line, Gemini, Good vs. Evil, and Chasing the Devil. So stack those four from your favorite to least favorite. Show me where this Chasing the Devil lands.
Wow, that's a tough one. So obviously we're gonna put Thug Mentality 99 number one, right?
Okay,
So that
yeah,
one's
I saw
without
that coming. The only one that I don't really think I know the answer to is what's coming second. It's probably
right. Yeah.
Right, because Gemini's the last one to you, right? Number 4.
It just Gemini felt like it was too many skits. Like when I look back on it,
it's fucking crazy. Thug fucking Mentality was a bunch of fucking skits. But
I had 2 CDs to make up for it.
Oh,
you know,
man, Gemini was so good. I love Gemini. But anyway, so you're saying Gemini's number 4. So
no, I put. It depends, like what year. Like at this point, as a 40-year-old now, I'm putting Chasing the Devil at number 2. That's me, because it's a mature album and it speaks on more mature topics. So I'm putting that number 2. I got to re-listen to Thug on the Line now that we've interviewed some people and I have a different perspective of it. But prior to me re-listening to Thug on the Line, I probably put that at number 4, believe it or not, and Gemini at number 3. Nah, I'll put Gemini at 4 and Thug on the Line at 3, Chasing the Devil at number 2. I know that's crazy. I know not a single Bone fan would go for that, but I think in my heart that's how I'm feeling. But that track on Gemini with Wishbone, that's that bone. That song is the bomb.
I love Gemini, Good vs. Evil. I always have, though, and it's funny, like, this has always been, like, a thing that I've always been, like, I love Good vs. Evil, and I felt like you've always slept on it, and you think I'm sleeping on Chasing the Devil, but I don't.
Hey, you see Ty Wise? Ty Wise hopped in the comments?
I see Ty Wise. Ty told me to stand my fucking ground on this shit about Chasing the fucking Devil, bro.
Just try it out. I mean, let me ask you this. You heard Holding On to Your Soul, right? So that one didn't, like, the composition of that, how thorough it was. It's like 3 songs in one.
That song,
it feels epic. Like,
I've heard that song more than any of them because it's track 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one I hear the most every time I try to listen to this fucking album. That's the one I end up listening to.
And it doesn't do it for you? Like where does it get cut off? Where are you like, all right, I had enough? Like, what point does that happen?
I Lose Interest by Cloudy.
Yeah, Cloudy. See, Cloudy's depressing, and I don't want to feel like that. Like, I skip Cloudy. I don't even bother with Cloudy. I don't even like the video. But I go right to Weapons of Mass Distraction. But really just the first verse on that, because then the rest of it just kind of gets into a bunch of noise.
1985 Gemini thinks I haven't given this a chance. Like, she's like, you just got to give it one chance. No, girl, listen. I've given this thing in like an abusive amount of chances to resonate with me. And it doesn't. And you ready where a bunch of you are going to cry? I fucking love New Waves. I've listened to New Waves front to fucking back probably 2,000 times. I can't get through Chasing the Devil.
Yeah, no, I think New Waves is a lot easier to get through than Chasing the Devil, because like there's the same thing I didn't like about Gemini is the same with Chasing the Devil. There's spots on the album where I'm like, so I hit fast forward. Like the Wake Up skit is, why would I want to hear an alarm clock? Now I understand conceptually that that's the point where the storyline shifts, because he makes the deal with the devil and then he gets the fame and then it's the downfall. So I get it. That's like the climax, not the climax, but the turning point of the storyline. But I only wanted to hear that once. I don't want to hear that alarm bell every time. So I skipped that, get right into Chasing Nightmares. And that one also is it's an ode to this, I think it's Dougie Fresh. It was a nightmare. So there's that. And
somebody said to start at track 18 and move my way up. There's only 22 songs on there. So that sounds like, I gotta start at the end of the album. I do see that it's got a bunch of I see Bizzy on there. I've heard the Brand New Everything. I believe. Like, that's what sprung this whole thing. And I was like, I've never listened to Chasing the Devil, but I do believe I've listened to Brand New Everything. And there's one with, like, Flesh. I believe I've listened to that, too. I always kind of, like, I always do, like, the pre-pick. I see, like, an album, and I will, I'll go through and just quickly listen to the songs that I think are going to be, like, something special, which is usually, like, if it's you know, Bone on the shit, you know what I mean? So I think I have heard the Brand New Everything track. Is Kane on there twice?
Yeah,
Kane in that motherfucker twice?
Yeah, well, Kane's on A Wise Fool, and then he has like this acapella at the end of the album, like right before the Ride For Me song. So it's like, it's just kind of like him busting like a acapella basically. Now, Can't Walk Away, Can't Walk Away is what is where I want this whole thing to go. Guitars, drum fills, and Flesh's verse. That's if we did that Flesh thing question of the day again. If you ask me what my favorite Flesh Bone verses of all time, it's Flesh's verse on Can't Walk Away. I think Flesh just did such a complete perfect verse there, and that's my favorite song on the album, by the way. But I also like Send Me an Angel because it's got like that dubstep kind of sound effects to it, kind of like not quite like Bottle Services is more techno, but Send Me an Angel's it has like dubstep elements to it. So you give it a try. Well, here's what I'll tell everybody. Cecil will listen to this album because I know how Cecil works. And here's a funny quick story. Back when we formed our company in 2006, I know he knows where this is going. We listened to, this is a true story. We listened to the song Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, which is CeeLo, for I'd say like 7 hours on loop while we designed our logo. So, and when Cecil has done artwork for other albums and other books and stuff of mine, or mainly CDs, he wants to embody what he's creating the art for.
Yeah.
And so I know he'll listen to Chasing the Devil when he does his video on the Chasing the Devil album cover, all the intricacies that Cairo Wolf put in there. So that's when he's going to sit down and give the whole thing a listen.
It is true. When I get commissioned to do artwork for people and shit, I try to listen to that record and try to make it, you know, try to make it work. I'll get there. I've tried though, man. I've tried. You know, you've talked about this. There's a lot of build up to Chasing the Devil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of build up, and then we got there, and Cloudy was a single.
I was disappointed at first. Look, I was disappointed at first. But then I was like, nah, this is Crazy's magnum opus. This is what we've been waiting 7 years for. And once I fully got it, you know what it is? I finally did like a highway journey. There's something that happens to me about 35 minutes into a highway journey, like a drive. My mind goes into this other place, and I felt myself become connected with the storyline, and it was like I understood it, and I became one with it. And that's when I started to like the album. I was like, I'm gonna keep listening to this till I like it, and it happened. It doesn't happen on the first try though,
bro. The only thing that's probably gonna make me like this album is the fact that I'm friends with Wolf now, and he did the artwork, and fucking Cairo will probably save this album for me. I'm gonna for the fucking fans, I'm gonna listen to this album. I'll make sure I listen to this album, and I'll give y'all the what I think. I have listened to it. I'm telling you, like, and nobody in the chat, like, none of you are like fucking lighting me up that like I'm missing out on like a super special song. Like, there's nothing on this record that anybody's like losing their fucking minds over. Like, I've heard Brand New Everything. You guys aren't losing your fucking minds over that. What was the one, John, that you think is fucking amazing? There's one on here that I
Can't
know.
Walk Away, bro. Can't Walk Away is my shit, man. That's my jam.
All right.
And A Wise Fool, bro. I love A Wise Fool too, because both of those have guitars in it. You know,
Kevin
so it's more than just
Brand New Everything. That's it.
it's Brand New Everything. Well, hey, brand new, everything's there. But like, well, Frank was saying, Frank DNA Level C was saying that it wasn't mastered correctly, and I had heard that a bunch of times. And then I feel like somebody said that they got a mastered version of it, or there was like a version that had like more artwork. I don't know.
Fuck, is there a
I got the
unmastered
cardboard
song on here? This many fucking years working on this record, and you're telling me that there's shit that you guys feel like is unmastered? This fucking album's been worked on detox level, and you feel like there's shit unmastered? I mean, what the fuck is that?
That's the word, and that's what I heard. I didn't really hear how unmastered it was. I mean, it sounds fine, but it doesn't sound. It's not like New Waves. Like New Wave sounds like, wow, this album. And you know what else sounded good was Thug Brothers 2, the first one. Thug Brothers, not the first one, but Thug Brothers 2, the one that came out. That had really good like engineering and final product, just like New Waves did. But yeah, Chasing the Devil, it felt like it could have been, some of the levels could have been boosted. But it grows on you. You won't like it the first time. Like I said, it takes time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess if I'm stacking these up, by the way, it's Thug Mentality. It's right in the order they came out, I guess. It has to be. Just because, and I love Gemini Good vs. Evil. I love it, but, like, I can't stack it over those other ones. I really love Thug on the Line, though. Like, Thug Mentality 99 is still number one, but Thug on the Line nips at its fucking heels. I think Thug on the Line is like underrated, and even if everybody in the chat room praises this fucking album right now, I'm like, it's underrated. It's an underrated record.
Yeah. It felt like it went under the radar. It had one video, and that's. Oh, hey, it says that the Miz did some tracks on this.
On what, Thug on the Line?
I guess he did. Yeah, I think it was the one with Larice. If They Only Knew.
Yeah. He said, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Thug on the Line. Thug on the Line is good, and I used to love that Night Riders track, the Pirates.
Hold the fuck on. Hold on, John.
Unmute my ass. Ty's about to let us have it, bro.
Motherfucker.
He's about to lay down the law, the facts.
Shit. You're all beyond the harmony. Who do we got?
This is Ty Wise getting ready to set the record straight.
Give him the business, Ty Wise.
Okay. First off, John, I don't want to go too far back into this topic. I've been doing it for a second, but this chasing the devil bullshit. Okay. In all the years you've been listening to Bone, did you ever have to run to a friend and say, hey, bro, you got to check this album out, but first, why don't you try to listen to it from track 18 backwards? Or why don't you listen to these 7 fucking tracks out of these 22 tracks? Let's listen to these like 7 to 10, and then tell me what you think. No, if you have to preface your fucking comments about an album, there's a problem. That's a red flag right there. That tells you there's a problem. Chasing the Devil was worked on for almost a fucking decade. A decade. And we've heard how fast Crazy Bone has come up with some of the best shit he's ever made. And if you listen to some of the stuff he talks about when he was making Thug Mentality, that he made Thug Mentality in a week compared to this shit. And this is what we got. With these weird-ass songs,
Detox.
unfinished songs, unmastered songs. Yeah, Detox
It's
style.
Detox. When a project gets this much, like, when a project gets talked about for this long, for this many years, and the fans are anticipating it that hard, there's no way to put out a good project. There's no way. You know, that's why I think Dre never put out Detox, was because that fucking record could have been the best Dr. Dre record of all time, and it would have got shit on because there was too much fan anticipation. And unfortunately for Crazy Bone, I think this is the same situation with Chasing the Devil. We got jerked about this for so many years that by the time it landed, it was Detox. At least he came out with it, though.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it came out. And then on top of that, another thing that pissed me off about it is as it was getting closer to being released, that's when he started doing that bullshit about, I'm going to retire after this. You know, this is it.
Yeah.
This is, you know, my big... Okay, motherfucker, that shit, I think he's still rapping because of how bad that was.
Well, it's supposed to be
because
3
you can't
parts,
go out
right?
after...
it's not Chasing the Devil's supposed to be 3 or 4 parts, I guess. Like this is only part 1. He's supposed to be done after all the chapters drop, 3 or 4 of them.
We'll be 100 years old by the time this rate. That's every 7 fucking years. There's no way.
Well, yeah, I almost wonder if we're like living under a different timeline, a different Crazy Bone timeline, because there was one point where he was like in the hospital and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not smoking weed anymore."
Time zone? The fuck?
Well, no, but he was saying like no more. He wasn't gonna use drugs anymore. He wasn't gonna use curse words anymore. Like on that first fix tape, Everyday Thing, I think was a clean track, and then I guess he fell away from his ways, but. You know, whatever. But I agree with you, Ty. Like, here's the thing. Everything you said is accurate. And as I said, I didn't like it at the beginning either. I had to listen to it a few more times. I think I'm going to bump it to number 3, not because of Ty, but as I was thinking about it, I was like, you got to be in.
He's like.
But, yeah, no, it's not a number 2. It's not a number 2.
It's not.
And I really don't know how to rank them.
It's not even number fucking 3, bro. It's not even number 3. Fucking Gemini is a better album.
Easily a better album. It felt like a real album. Gemini actually felt
like
a
good
real
album. It's got good songs
on
it.
It's solid. It has good singles. That's a solid fucking album. Yeah. And John, I know you were saying you hadn't really dug into Thug on the Line lately. You know what's funny is I have all my CDs and shit with me, and I burned everything, and I have everything on my iTunes. It's all on my phone. So I have. Family Scriptures and Two True Poetic Hustlers. I have all that shit on my iPhone. I listen to it every fucking day. So it's very fresh in my mind. So I listen to Thug on the Line. I listen to Thug on the Line today because I love listening to Thug Level and then the Night Riders track. When that album came out, it was very different than Thug Mentality.
Yeah.
It almost felt like that creeping on the come up to Eternal style change or the Eternal to Art of War change.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Right, his whole flow was different. The beats were different. I didn't really know what to think of it at the time, but if you re-listen to it, John, maybe on your trip or in between your Velvet DeVoe shit, I think you really appreciate it. It's really fucking good. The singles were good. Even the songs that we never really talk about that much. I mean, it's a short album, but the songs we never really talk about that much that didn't get a lot of publicity. It's a fucking solid album. But I think following Thug Mentality is why it didn't get the buzz. And now here we are, 20 years removed, and we look back like, oh shit, Thug on the Line was dope compared to fucking Chasing the Devil and even Gemini. I like Thug on the Line a lot better than Gemini. It's a solid fucking album. Check it out again whenever you get it. Go on one of your drives.
I used to listen to it all the time, and like when it came out, when it first came out, I actually like edited out all the special guests. Like I felt there were too many features on it at the time period. I think that's what threw me off. So like I made like a Crazy Bone version of it. Although I left everybody on Thug Level. That was the jam. At the time, I think the Thug line, I was like, all right, I'm buying a Crazy Bone album. I want to hear Crazy Bone. Make a Thug line, Mo Thug album if I want to hear these guys.
Everybody in the chat, by the way, is pointing out that Crazy said, Kevin Stark said he said it on Twitter and then took it back that he retired. And 1985 Gemini pointed out that he just posted a picture, and I just looked it up from 5 days ago, and it said it's been a great run, thank you, indicating that Crazy is retired again.
I hope he's talking about his Thug Life fucking stores and not himself.
They're moving that store. They just announced they're moving that to a new location.
Oh, that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw those posts. Who knows, man? He's gone through these phases before, and he said this stuff. This definitely isn't the first time. But John, before I forget, that is the whole feature, all the features that you say were on Thug Online. That was my reason for putting Thug Mentality 2 for best solo ever to Flesh and Bone. Because Thug Mentality had a feature on every fucking track.
Yeah, but they were at least famous people. They were established artists. Whereas
I think that's why I did it that way on Thug on the Line. Though Thug on the Line, I think is named like I think Thug on the Line, even though it was a Crazy Bone album, was supposed to be on like the Dr. Dre Chronic type shit. And what I mean by that is like he was trying to put on this Thug Line crew, because if you look, like, most of the features, not all of them, but most of these features are Thug Line artists. So I think what he was trying to do is that Chronic style, like, yeah, this is a Crazy Bone album, but it's really a Thug Line album with Crazy Bone, because he was trying to establish those artists. I think that's why it was named that. I think that's why you have all those, non quote unquote famous features.
But here's what it was about these features though, was all the Mo Thug artists, I was good with them. It was a Midwest style. The artists that he had on Thug on the Line were all kind of like East Coast rappers, and you'll recall at the time, even though Tupac and Biggie died and the East-West beef was squashed, not for Johnny. I still had my embargo against the East Coast. I wouldn't listen to any East Coast type sound and rap, even though these guys might not even been from the East Coast, but their beats and their rhyme style, their flows were all not down south, not Midwest, not West Coast. That's what I liked. I was for the West, for the Midwest, and for the South. I didn't like the East Coast vibe. And those guys just sounded too East Coasty for me, and the beats with them on it were too East Coasty for me. And I was like, nah, I'm listening to Bone for everything but the East.
There's a lot of West Coast guys in there though, like Asu. Asu ran with Death Row. Young Dre, he was a West Coast guy. Bam, I think a bunch of those guys like ran with the Outlaws and shit. And then of course, like, I don't know if it ever happened, but Boss was getting ready to be a Thug Line artist at that time. I don't know if it ever became official, but Boss was gonna run with Thug Line.
Oh, well, let me qualify. Let me qualify my embargo, because I know Boss is East Coast. It was any rapper post '93, because that's when the whole shift changed, and maybe it was post '94. Actually, I was good with '93 and '94 rappers. Anything like '95 on, I was like, nah, I don't want it. That's just me. I mean, my flavor, my taste doesn't have to be for everybody. Obviously, I'm listening to Bell Biv DeVoe in my spare time. So, but that's why I didn't initially like it, was because there's a few rappers from the West too that kind of like Chino Exel. He's a really good rapper, but I don't think of him as like a West Coast rapper. I think of him as an East Coast rapper, because he's doing rhymes and shit instead of the whole West vibe. So
Michael
and
Downing,
same with Raz.
Michael Downing's in the chat, just so you know, and he says that there was supposed to be a compilation called 2000 Thugs with all the songs from Thug Line, and that became Thug on the Line. And he says it was enough tracks to easily be a double CD. So there you go, John. There's your Michael Downing explanation as to why you had so many unknown features on there.
Yeah, and it's not that I didn't like with Mo Thugs. They helped establish who these guys were to us, right? Whereas the Thug on the Line, it's like, hey, here's all my new friends. And I was like, yeah, but you need to kind of like introduce me to these guys, and I didn't feel properly introduced to the Thug Line artists. Whereas the Mo Thug guys, they were telling us, hey, we got these friends, you're going to hear about them someday. And then we finally did. But then Thug Line they showed up out of nowhere.
Thug Line was like, and I've talked about this in prior episodes, like Thug Line became something I really liked. But initially, like, I remember getting that Thug Mentality 99 and opening it, and I'm like, what the fuck is Thug Line? What the fuck is this? And I wasn't completely sold out on it, because I was like, all right, Mo Thugs was still on the CD, like there was a Mo Thugs logo and shit, but I was like, what the fuck is Thug Line? And initially I was just like way against it. I was like, so it's not Mo Thug, like this is some other shit. But I ended up really liking the Thug Line guys. I can't lie. I'm an Asu fan and all that. So
yeah,
I'm glad somebody liked
it. Family Scriptures did a great job introducing everybody to us. Even though it wasn't that long of a run, but it felt like initially that we were in for a decade worth of these artists, and then before Thug Line came, we had 7 Signs. Bizzy came out in '98. We're like, oh, okay, so now we have Majesty, and we have all these dudes, Nina Ross or whoever else, and it felt like now that was going to be, the next click to follow, and then not too soon after that, then Thug Line comes out. So there's a lot of shit going on in a short span to try to keep up with all the different branches that were branching out.
Hey, something I'll point out, Ty, that we haven't really got a chance to talk about, but you, me, and John were talking about, hey, I want another Mo Thug album. Like, we got all these affiliates. Like, why the fuck haven't we had a new affiliate album? Like you just said, we need that introduction. Like, they're leaving it on these affiliates to introduce themselves to us instead of Bone coming through and giving us the Family Scriptures formal introduction. Well, I don't know if you just saw, but Lazy announced that they're getting ready to do their first Harmony House compilation, and it's in the vein of Mo Thugs. Like, he talks about all the Mo Thug albums and then says Harmony House is about to drop their first like Harmony House album. So what do you think about that? We talked about it, we put it in the universe, and then probably a fucking week and a half later, Lazy Bone announces Harmony House Volume 1.
It's badass, man. They're listening. I don't think we had all to do with it, but it's good. It's good. It's good shit. I mean, that's what we've been needing for well over 10 years, and I know we've talked about it. I think if we had to do a starting lineup or just to put together a team of 10, we wouldn't even, most fans wouldn't even know who the fuck is an active artist, right? Where they came from, or what umbrella they're under, or what they sound like. Like, it'd be hard. Most people would be hard pressed to know who's under what umbrella, who the fuck is who sounds like what. Like, they wouldn't know. And so it's on them to put a badass compilation together like that, Mo Thug style. That way we can kind of see, okay, this is what this person sounds like, this is who they're under, this is what this person sounds like, or this group. That would be huge. They're long overdue, I think.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I'm excited. I love the compilation records. I hope it's like a compilation like the Mo Thug ones, where they actually work on it for a compilation and they don't just snag a bunch of rando tracks and put them together and call it a compilation. But we'll see.
I think that's what I kind of liked about New Waves, was that it was a real album. Whereas like everything now, as we always talk about, it's like everything is a single, a digital single, but New Waves was its own entity. And I've always been longing for that same album experience versus just a bunch of hot singles. And New Waves kind of provided that. And I'm not doing that to rub it in on Ty. I know he doesn't like New Waves, but at least cohesively, it kind of like embodied that album feel. It was consistent. It was one type. It had the same engineering throughout. So it's not like hearing a song done by, that was meant for somebody else, but they're putting it on this album. It felt cohesive for the most part.
Yeah. If I had, so here, I'll be objective and I'll say something nice about New Wave.
Oh shit! Ring the alarm.
Here we go. The effort that was put into New Wave by both Bizzy and Crazy production, promotion. That's the most effort we've seen from any Bone project probably since Uni 5. And even so, I think they outdid Uni 5 because of the amount of videos they did, the interviews. They were attending, award shows or music shows and things of that nature to promote the album. That was the most production or most publicity any Bone album had on the lead up in a long time. I can't remember the last album that had that. Mm-hmm. I think they outdid Uni 5, promotion wise. Yeah. So, fuck. And honestly, I don't even think Thug War Order had shit for production or for marketing. If I could think back to 02 and Strength and Loyalty and Thugs, none of those albums did. So the amount of effort they put into that fucking crappy album was amazing. They put tons of effort in. Now, if they could channel that and make a Bone album, or take some of that effort and put it into like the compilation album, something like that, I think that would propel them right back on the map. But they put a ton of effort, ton of money into all of those music videos. I don't think half of Bone fans have even seen all the music videos, but they put tons of effort and money into that album, which is crazy to me because it kind of seems like both Bizzy and Crazy don't even acknowledge it anymore. It's kind of just like a
Well,
blip in the matrix,
fans,
if you will.
well, I wouldn't either. The fans shit on it. We as fans have shit all over that album. Like, you know, like Michael Downing said, remember we were supposed to get a video for every song on New Waves. You know, why the fuck would anybody want to continue this project when, you know, so many fans are shitting on it? It's hard to live up to expectations, you know, when your fan base is kind of shitting on it. And the views for those
it's too
videos,
bad Ruthless.
Yeah,
It's too bad the song Ruthless didn't get a video, because I feel like that had a mass appeal.
I agree.
And that could have, you know, brought it. I'm not saying like it's my favorite. It's not my favorite song on the album, but like that's the track on the album. If I had a non-rap fan or a non-Bone fan, I could put that one on, and you know, you could see them say, oh, "Okay, I understand this song." You know, it had a mass appeal, and they should have done a video for that to gain a wider audience and
I think
maybe pick up some steam.
Yeah, I think new waves may be appreciated later on more than it is now. I think there's some great tracks in there. I know a lot of fans hate Bottle Service. We talk about this all the time. I see Michael talking about the OG version. I don't even really get into the OG version. I think the album version is great.
Yeah.
I think it's a great track. It's just again, you know, we let the fact that it's Bone, it's Crazy, it's Bizzy, you know, we let that hold us back from just recognizing that that's a good song. But hey,
I like Bizzy's verse on the album better than the music video.
Oh yeah, because they're two different shits.
Yeah, although I wouldn't mind if the extended version was the version on, like somebody edited together the two verses into the song,
yeah,
and that's even cooler. But I prefer the album version versus that.
What do you like more on Look Into My Eyes, the Crazy Bone album version or the video verse?
I like the video. You know, I always like the clean versions better.
Yeah,
but
clean version.
He
Crazy clean version.
Yeah. And it's more singy. The album version's too rappy. You know me, Bell Biv DeVoe, baby.
Now, this, oh my God, that fucking Bill, that should have me cracking up. Now, let me ask you this. Now, I think this is why, and for me, this is why I hated the album so much. And I think I might echo what some fans think as well, that dislike the album. I think we heard Die, 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 I don't know, 23 years ago or 24 years ago, right? And
I mean, is that what you thought this album was going to be? I asked this earlier when you were...
I didn't think it was going to be that, but that was like the last. That's like when you think of Crazy and Bizzy together, that's like some of the things that pop in your head. You know, that's some of those times. I remember as a kid, we used to listen to that, and me and my friends would talk, and we'd say like, "Man, imagine if those two made an album together." And then you had the Bone Brothers shit. You know, we had every possible matchup. You know, Lazy and Bizzy, and then we had Strength and Loyalty. Like we had every possible mix, but Crazy and Bizzy together, right? And so I think a lot of people might have thought back to some of those tracks, some of those old songs like Die Die Die, and thought, man, you know, if they had made an album together, like, you know, we could get, you know, 12 Die 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 like songs. Of course, that's asking a lot, 20 years removed. But my the point I was gonna make is, what if we already had a 90s era Bizzy and Crazy album, a Die 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 style album, and then we got New Waves? Do you think it would have been received differently because we had already got our fix for that time, for the 90s era between those two? Or you think it'd be worse now?
Probably worse, because you motherfuckers would be like, nah, we want to hear the Die 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 album, and you guys would just be shitting all over it. It's just fucking talking about.
Probably so.
Yeah. You guys.
But Brand New Everything was kind of like the prelude to New Waves in that it was Crazy and Bizzy. You know, it was a duet track. So there's that, and then the vibe of New Waves was revealed through Everything 100 and Now I'm Gone. You know, they did some things that were showing that was coming soon to a theater near you. Now here's a question that we should ask about New Waves. What was the straw that broke the camel's back with New Waves? Because there's so much that you could endure, and then there's something that happens where you're like, all right, nah. Well, my theory.
I don't love every track on it for sure.
So, I'm okay with the song, but like if I'm actively thinking about what I'm listening to, I'm like, oh man, what happened here? the track That Girl, track 5. Like I feel like that was the one that people were like, oh man, what the hell is this?
There's a bunch of them I don't fuck with. Okay, Coming Home. I like Coming Home. I now like both versions of Coming Home, but I like Coming Home. If Heaven Had a Cell Phone is pretty good. I see some people like, because I guess that was supposed to be hyped up as like the new Crossroads, and some people really hype that up. It's good. It's not that fucking good, but it's good.
Gravity's pretty dope. Yellow Wolf.
Yeah, I like Gravity. I know a lot of people love Waves. I don't love Waves, but it's cool. I love Whatever Goes Up. I like Gravity. I like Bottle Service. Somehow Change the Story has grown on me, I think, because it's right after Bottle Service, so I've heard it a lot. I love Ruthless. And, Cocaine Love, I really like. But initially I was like, where the fuck does Cocaine Love fit on this album? It doesn't. Cocaine Love doesn't fit on this album. This shouldn't be on this record. So because I didn't feel like it fit, I didn't really love Cocaine Love. But of course that track really grew on me because I love Bone, I love UGK. So UGK for life, motherfucker.
Yeah, if you run the album through a strainer and you filter out what you like, I mean
that's more of the tracks. That's more. Listenable. Come on,
that's good.
The only tracks I left out were A Good Person, Fantasy, That Girl. That's it. Pretty much everything else I just named, and everything else isn't that bad. Oh, Bad Dream is fucking pretty corny too.
You know I love Bad Dream, right?
You love that shit?
I fucking love Bad Dream so much, bro.
Tell me why.
Like I bust out into funny dances. I picture Bizzy Bone doing funny dances while he's doing it. When I envisioned when Bizzy was going through his weird times where he was like dancing drunk on stage and stuff. I don't know if you've seen all those videos, but I envisioned him doing those dances when the song comes on. I even did a video with, I don't know if you follow Marquette King. He's the punter. He used to play for the Raiders. Then he was on the Broncos. He got cut. The black punter. And I made a video of all the dances that he does over Bad Dream as well. So I just like the beat. I thought it was a nightmare. It was a fun. It just felt so fun. So I enjoyed the vibe to it. I didn't like the words. I don't like degrading women, but I like the vibe to the song.
So that's the thing is like, now let's push new waves and fucking chasing the devil into the corner. Like, you shouldn't have to fucking fight or, justify, well, this is a pretty good album. Well, these couple of tracks, like, we didn't used to do that shit. So what got you into both? Cecil, fucking Art of War was a shit front to back. Dope. Johnny, Creeping on the Come Up, or Faces of Death, the shit front to back. You know what I mean? Like, now we have to make distinctions, like, if you listen to this 7 or 8 or this 10 song, like, you shouldn't have to do that with music or with a certain. Now there are going to be albums there every now and then you kind of have to do that, but in my opinion, for myself, I've been doing that shit since 2002 with Bone. There's 8 songs on Strength and Loyalty that are pretty good, and,
but you got high standards, Ty. You got high standards. And
I came in too early.
There's probably a bunch of Bone shit that you shit on in the past, and you go back and you listen to it now and you like it.
Time.
Not a lost. Oh, okay. We're reconnected. We're running in that 4-hour range, and this is when things get hairy on YouTube. So we might want to move for that that wrap up.
Oh yeah, I see it spinning.
Well, I'll let you guys go. Y'all did an awesome job tonight. I'll catch up with the beginning of the show when you wrap up, and I'll catch up with y'all soon.
Ty.
All right, my question for you for next time, Ty, is I'm gonna ask you about the land with Kane next time. So.
Okay, well, I'll do my homework as long as Cecil does his. Cecil, you need to get on Chasing the Devil too. Listen to something.
All right, Chasing the Devil.
Your homework. Okay, I'll holler at y'all later.
Ty the Wise Man. Facts don't lie. It's been a big episode. It looked like we had a little bit of technical difficulty there for a second, so we're not gonna fuck around with this very much. It's been a great episode. I appreciate everybody that called in, talked to Mo Hart, talked to us. Fuck, we did like 2 hours without Mo Hart.
Did
3 hours.
Do we have a
40
caller
minutes.
in here from? Is there somebody from 337 that's been holding for like 30 minutes on with
Nah,
us?
they're the ones that all night I keep checking in with, and then they don't talk.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think that's good. I mean, I feel good. If you feel good, is everybody in the chat good? Does anybody got that any last minute shit that you're really burning to hear me and John talk about? Because if you got a last minute something real, if it's real good, I got you. If not, I think I'm out this motherfucker. Because it's been long. We talked a lot of bone tonight. We talked a lot of fucking bone. This is a
lot of bone.
3 hours 40 minutes we've been on here. This would generally get cut into 3 episodes. This is 3 weeks worth of content, motherfucker.
All live, bringing it to you live, Beyond the Harmony, and be on the lookout. Like I said, lots of questions of the day coming your way. So be on the lookout for that every day. You're on out.
All right, y'all.
All pre-recorded too.
Yeah, pre-recorded. I am
a while
Cecil
ago.
West. This is Beyond the Harmony with my co-host, the one and only
Jonathan Lippy.
And we will check y'all on the next one. Feenics Ryzin. Time to bring us home, girl.
Beyond the harmony for the fans we celebrate.